The partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AMD, the Esports Club Challenger Series 1 Quarterfinals 4, supported by Ubisoft for Rainbow Six Siege, with your hosts Blackjack and Baba Gusta. We are very excited to be back once again for this final quarterfinal of this first Challenger Series. It should be a very, very amazing game because this one, unlike the previous few games, which were decidedly a little one-sided, the last three games that we had, this one is of two teams that are, at least in my eyes, very kind of close in terms of their skill level. High Five versus Team GG, one that I'm very excited to watch. Bavagusta, how do you do on this fine, early evening?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. And not to mention that today is also an amazing day because it's Jack's birthday today. Hey, happy birthday, Jack.
Yay.
And also,
Thank you.
I actually did, made a decision, and I also talked to you way before that I'm going to sing you a happy birthday song. So, without further ado,
Yeah.
a one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack. Happy birthday to you. Hey, let's go. It's
Someone
Jack's
help.
birthday today. Hey. Today's definitely is going to be an amazing day, Jack. That is for sure. First being High Five and Team GG with their quarterfinals matchup, and now it's Jack's birthday today. So it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, very excited for the match as well as Jack's birthday. Although it's, we'll be able to celebrate it at the night, don't you think, Jack?
That if you can't tell, I'm kind of awkward right now, but of course I'll be celebrating at home with my family later on. But that's besides the point, because today's game should be a very interesting one. Like we said, High Five versus Team GG. Map bans, of course, been taken care of as well. And as you can see, the match that we will start with in just a few minutes, once we get, everybody in, everybody ready, and or everything, set and dealt with, all that back-end stuff that the admins and our production deal with while we keep our audience engaged over here. And it should be, like we said, a very exciting game. High Five Team GG, both of them have been around the bend. Their players have been here for a significant amount of time. And some of them have been, involved with the teams that are currently known as the best of the region. So, yeah, there is a very good chance of us seeing all three maps that will be on display today. So High Five versus Team GG will be going live in just a short while, folks. But before that, let's have a look in a little bit about at the maps. Wow, I went through 4 variations of that sentence in one sentence. That's some English spinning right there. But yeah, let us have a look at the maps that will be on display for all of our viewers today. Starting us off, Chalet will be the map number 1, picked by High Five, who are going on attack. Very, very well, to be expected decision, really. Chalet is attacker sided, generally speaking, and somewhat has retained that name. While the second map, Clubhouse, defender sided, picked by Team GG, who are also going on attack. We did see this sort of decision making yesterday. I believe it was from. Just give me a second right here as I go over my sheets. There we go. Clubhouse was in play between Mercenaries and Sage Empire. Sage Empire went attack first on, well, Clubhouse. Unfortunately, that was that map didn't really go their way now, did it? And then, of course, the decider, the ever-present, the ever-known Oregon. And according to the data that we have from the map bans, Team GG will be attacking on Oregon once again. But that, of course, is the decider map. That will only come through when it does. And that is, well, we'll find out whether or not we get to Oregon, folks. We just might. Again, High Five and Team GG should make for a very interesting game. So that's the map bans. Whoops, excuse me right there. That's the map bans. That's the teams. Baba, what do you think? What are we in for today?
Well, I could say that these two teams will definitely give a good entertainment for us, and also some exciting plays, especially in a map like Chalet. And the winner of this quarterfinals will go up in the semifinals, going up against Monkey Hunters. Yep, either High Five or Team GG will go up against Monkey Hunters, one of the well-known teams in the South APAC region. So it is going to be a difficult task for them, knowing that semifinals. We've already have our first semifinalist, Kira Esports and MRCZ, who will go up against each other in the tomorrow's matchup. And today we just have to figure out who will be that one lucky team to go up against Monkey Hunters and secure their spot in the semifinals. And then we'll have to see whether who will get the spot on the grand finals too. It will be a best of 5. Semifinals will be best of 3. So High Five and Team GG. Last time I remember, we actually did get to see the day 3s of qualifiers where they did went up against each other on map Oregon. It was 7-4, where Team GG did take the clean win against High Five. Although yes, there was a bit of an issues, and we had to go in for the rematch, I guess. But then itself, Team GG did qualified, and also they made sure that they get their spot in the quarterfinals. Now, the second thing of High Five is that they also did the same. I believe it was on the second day of qualifiers, day 3, or was it? No, yeah, it was day 3, second qualifiers, where they went up against Gamer Syndicate. The map was on Consulate, and it was 7-2 against Gamer Syndicate. That is quite a huge statement for High Five, saying that yes, we lost against Team GG, but we are definitely not going to make the same mistake twice. And they have that chance again in the quarterfinals, and they're going to prove it, whether if they can do it or not.
That is very, very true. Now I know that given these two teams' history, there's a good chance of going, all the way to the decider. But I think we all know that with Oregon as the decider map, there's going to be a fair few folks in chat wishing for a non-decider match, 2-0, that is to be said. But you never know, folks. You never know. For instance, yesterday's match against Sage Empire, we really did think that match would have gone all the way to map 3. But Sage Empire and Map 2 unfortunately lost their momentum, lost their tempo, and Mercenaries, well, they were goofing around by the end, so the Mercenaries were just being Mercenaries. Sage tried, didn't quite make it out of the stage alive, and then, of course, we had the match. Excuse me, right there. We had the match between Monkey Hunters and Red Vipers, another match that was quite one-sided, all things considered. Monkey Hunters once again dominating for the most part. Red Vipers did have a little bit to say, but they couldn't, patch those moments of brilliances together into a solid performance. And of course, Kira Esports we saw a couple of days ago. Once again, great games from them. But right now, we're just waiting for both of these teams to be all in, all present, accounted for, and ready. And I believe we're just waiting on one member from High Five. And according to High Five themselves, just he had to restart his game, apparently. Some connectivity issues, standard stuff, really. It's the South Asian region, folks. We've made this we've had this conversation before, so we don't need to have it again. But I am interested to see how both of these teams go on Chalet, how hard they go on their respective roles, and how far they are willing to reveal to each other about their playstyles. Because again, that element of saving strats, saving, certain ideas for maps 2 or even 3 is prevalent for any pro game of the scene, just in general. You want to save the best for last, as they say, and that is, of course, very true even in a quarterfinals game. With all that being said, both sides are in, both sides are ready. So looks like in just a short while, we will be going live for the match itself, folks. The fourth and final quarterfinals, High Five versus Team GG, is going live on your screens with the first map of Chalet and the ban phase starting off right now. Let us not waste any more time. Get right into it. And Team GG have the first ban of the maps today. Now, of course, it's an attacker ban. It's probably going to be Thatcher once again as it goes, because Thatcher just, I guess he really wants to rest his knees, and he gets to rest his knees, but no, all right, it's going to be Flores first from the side of Team GG. Another operator ban that we can see coming a mile away, in all due respect. Flores is really, really good at clearing utility, at denying certain bits of areas, and even flushing out at defenders, who are, stuck in tight corners, who are really, they've gone in to those tight corners and they've stuck themselves there. I'm sure the folks can see the chat right now. Thank you to the boys over at High Five and Team GG. Thank you all. But yeah, regardless, it is going to be Valkyrie to be banned from the side of Team GG. And of course, another operator that we can see getting banned. Okay, that's a lot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, we can stop now. Okay. Valkyrie has been banned on the other side from the side of Team GG, a ban we can see coming from a mile away, And then, of course, Wamai to be banned as well. Again, operators who are very influential in all respects of the game have been taken care of and have been banned here for this first map. Flores, Thatcher, Valkyrie, and Wamai. With all that being said, round 1 is about to be underway, but before we get into it, let us have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of High Five, we've got Shinra, Vortex, Avidri, Taha, and Hussein. And from the side of Team GG, we've got Zedux, Viper, Poison, Shrisha, and EX7. Round 1 is going to be underway, with the side being first floor bar and gaming room, and I have kept the man for the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack. And without further ado, with the 6th pick coming in from Hussein, switching from Zero to Nomad, our match is underway, starting off with the first round, bar and gaming room. Got an interesting pick coming in from Team GG. Most of the sites that we would traditionally start off would either be in second floor master bedroom and office, maybe on first floor bar and gaming room. Although talking about the site basement, wine cellar, and basement wine cellar and snowmobile garage, that's not particularly the site where defenders are too keen on going into that particular place. So going into second floor master bedroom, and the second site being on bar and gaming, the third most picked site would be on kitchen and first floor kitchen and dining room. That's especially where you see the site on second floor office, where you might use it for a C4 play, or quite possibly higher chances to take out some of the important utilities. Just keep that in mind. Goyo isn't bad. And talk about Team GG's defender picks. You see quite a lot of deployable shield players being used. You have the Frost deployable shield. You have Goyo's Vulcan shield, which counts, out at a total of 3, shields, where the defenders have good amount of covers. So High Five really needs to be taking care of certain situations like this. So with the Nomads not being banned and the defenders being restricted into either repositioning or try to even if they do go in for that run out, it will be denied from the air jabs, and Vortex almost dodges out the bullets from the Frost weapon. Information is king for the attackers as of now, as the attacker drones will give good amount of information towards the site. The site is on bar and gaming room. They have to deal with that deployable shield from the blue stairs, and in order to do that, they have to take care of ADSs. Since Thatcher is banned, you cannot use those EMPs anymore. I mean, if Thatcher was still available, you could have just used the EMPs to disable those ADSs quite fast. But minute and 50 seconds, you see High Five taking it slow and easy. They're trying to test the limits of Team GG's defensive capabilities.
That they are. It's a testing phase in round one as things go, as shots are gonna be fired in just a quick second here. Vortex is present, breaking the barbed wire as the flashbangs go out from a Vidvi, and the shield will be taken care of, but Vortex is the one to take a bit of damage right then and there on that same clear, but Shinra will actually get the first kill. Second one, no, not quite. Shrisha unfortunately couldn't time his shots in the moment when he needed to. Vortex does get away properly, but Viper will find one and get found. He finds a Vidwi, and Vortex takes him down very, very swiftly indeed. One Hibana down, but the trade-off is 2 defenders. Make that 3 defenders off the board, with the Sane coming in with the repel outside of the main library window. 3 defenders off the board now, as High Five are in a dominant position.
Good dominant position for High Five, and talk about Hussein taking out the Aruni was a huge blow. Needs to get for one more players, and that is EX7, who was almost coming in towards the stairs.
Nice.
The final kill will come in from Taha to take out Poison, and looks like Team High Five will be the one to start it off, winning their first attack round on Bar and Gaming Room. Good picks, good usage of the vertical lines of sight. Actually, not the vertical lines of sight. I would say the inverted repel from Hussein to take out the Aruni. Although I was quite surprised to see Srisha bringing in the DMR instead of the P10 Roni, but most weapons has its own fair share of uses. Like the DMR only needs 2 shots in the body, but you have to, it's not a full auto weapon like the P10 Roni, but it has considerate amount of damage. It can go through, walls, higher chances of a wall penetration kill. It has its own fair share of uses, especially on the defensive side, but most of them would prefer the P10 Roni because of how good the weapon is, on how much of a good fire rate the gun is, and also it's basically a headshot machine, if you like to call it. All you have to do is just shoot. It only needs 1 bullet to the head, and that's all it needs. But for Team GG, this is I wouldn't say that they're not going off in a good start. The defensive maneuvers did, helped out well for Team GG. It's just that when High Five started to, take out those deployable shield quite quickly, at that time they only had like a minute and 30 seconds left. So Team GG was, they didn't had any other choices but to defend the site with no covers being made, and they have to deal with, they just have to go with normal peaks to get information rather than using those deployable shields. So a good start from High Five. And talk about second round, I believe the site will be the same yet again. Bar and Gaming Room. Let's see whether Team GG can survive this.
Well, it's going to involve a lot of that for sure. Shinra with the pistol. Where did he even get that? Guess it doesn't matter. EX7 is off the board. And that's a big drop too. Your Goyo gone. That's a vector off the playing field, and that's not something Team GG can afford. High Five can, of course, very well, afford to have more of those. The more defenders down, the better. The quicker the plant can go off. But but EX7, excuse me, him going down first is going to spell a little bit of trouble for the side of Team GG. They still have Shisha. They've still got Poison and Viper to do a ton of work. They've still got Zedux as well for covering and for roaming at that. But the issue is they're already playing at a man disadvantage. Shisha, wait a minute. Oh, that was smart. Smart use of the passive of the Aruni, opening up a big old line of sight and finishing off the Iana with that Vortex gone. And that is one of the big facets of this kind of an attacker push. Iana's Gemini replicators are extremely useful, regardless of what side of, the building you are in terms of an attacker. Can he get another? No, he can't. Unfortunately, Avidvi's too good with that shot. The AR wins out, and the P10 Roni will lose a headshot onto the headshot onto the Aruni. One more down, and it's a 4v3 again.
Well, man count advantage still in favor of Team High Five, but no, look at that. That is a huge blow for Shindra to take out Poison. Only 2 players left on the side of Team GG. This side is definitely not favoring on the side of defenders, not one bit. And High Five definitely want to make sure that they would get this win without making any mistakes whatsoever. Taha will continue to use the breach charge to open up the barricade in towards gaming room. Now they just have to go in for the plant. They only have 40 seconds to do so, but Zedux thinks otherwise. Taking out Hussein, but not on the hands of Shindra. He'll be able to take out Viper. A triple kill for him. And now Zedux needs to figure out a way to at least delay the push. He's worried about 3 of those players. Doesn't have any utilities whatsoever. And Shindra comes in with the final kill, eliminating Zedux. Quad kill for him. As we will see High Five win yet another attack round on first floor bar and gaming room. Good attack coordination coming in from the attackers, and also huge plays for Shindra to eliminate all 3 important players. Man, that was almost, I would say Team GG might have to change their sights and mainly focus on going towards master bedroom, office, and first floor kitchen and dining room, because bar and gaming room, it is definitely not favoring the side of Team GG at all. Even with Shrisha, who got that early kill taking out Iana, that is a lot of utilities immediately destroyed. I mean, 2 frag grenades, Gemini replicator, which can be used countlessly, which has a total cooldown for around 20 or 30 seconds, I believe. Even with eliminating Vortex, it still wasn't enough for Team GG to survive. It mainly has to do with because of Shindra. I mean, the way how he got those 3 kills. Not to even mention Shrisha was quite picked up from a Whitby when he thought of contesting the angle from the office entrance. So again, talk about the 3rd round. 2nd floor master bedroom and office will be the site, and let's see whether Team GG either might survive it, putting themselves in a 3-2, I wouldn't say 3-2-0, I would say 2-1, or it might become 3-0. Keep that in mind that this is High Five's pick on map Chalet, so they are very confident on this. But the most thing that I'm worried about would be the 2nd map, which is on Clubhouse. But this is, I believe that the map Clubhouse is Team GG's pick. So let's see what will happen with the action phase coming into play. Master bedroom / office will be the site. Let's see what will happen.
That, of course, we will regardless. I mean, that's basically how time works. But right now, the change of site, definitely much needed from the side of Team GG. They needed to do this. Some would even argue in the previous round, they really wanted to see if round 1 was just a one-off occurrence and they could win the first floor bar gaming site, or if they really were set to lose there, regardless of how they tried to defend it. Even with, Shrisha going a little bit aggressive with that line of sight that he made and getting that kill on the Iana, that, and right at the end with Zedux catching one other attacker off guard, those 2 were the only kills that the side of Team GG managed. And not even that, they couldn't even stop the planter. They didn't have the room to work with in that situation. Oh, Shrisha really had one on the main door, and he still will. Vortex, wait a minute. Oh, I think the bullets got caught in the door frame of Bar, which meant that Vortex didn't probably have an idea that he was being shot at, and he proceeded like he normally would have otherwise. He's going to go down because of that. Poison and Taha taking a bit of damage in the meanwhile. A little bit of rivalry going on between them, as is evident from the chat. Shindra in the meanwhile, there we go. He's just doing what a Maverick does, trying to get rid of the mute jammers. Got to be careful of his feet, though. Those will be shot at in just a second, which means he's going to have to make another line of sight. And that, of course, will open up the position of the shield that he has already seen with this drone in Library Hallway. It is now jammed, of course, thanks to, well, mute. As the grenade is about to go out, there we go. The shield should be taken care of as well. Yes, it is. And Vidwi now has somebody to deal with right by that door. He's going to get shot at, but he is still safe. Hussein is not, though. He's gone down to Poison, who is doing work right now. As Zedux takes a bit of damage. It is a 3v5 in favor of Team GG.
Well, 40 seconds left, and looks like Poison is in it to win it, taking out a Vidwi, and also Shindra triple kill, but it still hasn't taken out Taha just yet. That rivalry will still continues because Taha is all by himself, and High Five needs to get this huge advantage. 3-0 is a big deal on a map like Chalet, especially in the attack phase. And with the diffuser being dropped out and only 15 seconds left for the Ash to make that play, he will be able to get a ball Poison, the wall bang. He needs to go in for the push. 5 seconds. He needs to find one more player, but no, he will not. As the external comes in with the Vector to take out the final player on the side of Team High Five and put Team GG their win on defense, second floor master bedroom / office. That will put the score count 2-1. And talk about rivalries between Poison and Taha. I believe a 1-1 equalizer would come in. Although I would say Poison with the Frost. 9mmC1, I believe that's the name of the primary weapon. Even though he did get that triple kill, the rivalry between Taha is just still, going strong on that one, don't you think that?
I mean, yeah, that definitely is going fairly strong. Now, interestingly enough, I believe we have not seen a single operator shift in the team of Team GG. I feel like we've been watching the same ops for what is now the 4th round of play, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure if I particularly like that. I mean, changing up ops is always a good idea, and changing roles even with these same ops is also a good idea. But right now, what we are looking at, folks, is the same ops set coming in over and over again, except just one change has happened. I just realized Viper, instead of playing the mute, is playing the smoke. Smoke, of course, needs to be brought in for those gas grenades, extremely good area denial, plant denial, and of course, time waster. So with that smoke in play, things will be just a little bit easier for the side of the defense, especially in the late round. However, outside of that, the rest of the ops are the exact same. Now, I'm not sure what the idea is here from the side of Team GG. Could be a lot of things. Could be that they just know these ops the best and they want to emphasize with them. However, EX7 has taken a bit of damage from that drone hole peak that we saw being taken just a second ago by Hussein. In the meanwhile, Taha is just taking care of potential Frostmat locations that Poison could have set them up, and they probably have a drone in this region to try and find those exact Frostmats, but Shin is going to take a ton of damage. He is still not dead. Neither is EX7, despite the grenade going in. Second grenade goes in, but it still won't find him, and the Gon 6 goes in, which means there's a rush in towards the trophy area. Is that going to find anyone? No, not quite yet. Yes, there we go. One will be found. That is Hibana. Awidri coming in with one, but Poison is back at it again, and Shrisha will go down in the meanwhile. There goes Poison, I believe. Yes, that's the Frost off the board, and all the action is happening. It is now a 4v2. Viper and EX7, the last two standing, and only Viper has full HP, but he will still be, EX7 will still be going strong, as Taha is the one to be taken care of. 3 versus 2, and Shinra has just made his way out from second floor master bedroom and office region. Side, of course, is directly down below, but he can't do much from above. He doesn't have the kind of verticality he would like to work with. Viper, he's staring through that open line of sight. The pings are coming in. The info's coming in as well. But does he know that there's a potential peak on the other side of that hole towards the reinforced wall? He might just. Gas grenade goes out again, but it doesn't go all the way. It will still block off entry for a short period of time. But there's a whole minute remaining. How do you stop High Five from getting in? The answer is you probably don't, as Shinra will find him, and that is EX7 now, last one standing, and didn't even need the flashbang to finish him off. That just bullets to the head, and that is going to be another round off the board. Poison, unfortunately, we did see him try and make a big play on the solarium stairs, just didn't work out, and after that, it was a full collapse from Team GG. High Five working overtime right now to get themselves a nice, solid early half, and they are en route to do so. 3-1 into the 5th.
Oh boy, that's an amazing. That was an amazing rush though from High Five. I'm not gonna lie. The Gon 6 to open up the barricade, immediate control on Trophy. They just need to, They just had to get information towards Solarium to see whether if there is any vertical lines of sight being made. And since there wasn't, and when one of the attackers were repelled in towards the windows of Solarium, they had the confirmation and decided, you know what, I have the control on Solarium. You guys just go in towards Trophy Room and get that immediate control on towards the site. And they did exactly that. Pushed in, got 2 kills, put out Poison as well. And also made sure that they would get the win for Team High Five. And talk about round 5. we will see some changes in operator picks. You see a Widway, instead of bringing in the Hibana, he will bring in the Thermite instead. Those exothermic charges will be very efficient when it comes to opening up the walls in towards Trophy and also maybe in towards the main entrance too. So having that huge breach capabilities, I believe Team GG might go in for a spawn peak, unless and until, I mean, the only person that could go for a spawn peak would either be Shrisha or Zedux, but we haven't seen any spawn peaks nor runouts being made from the defenders as of now. Not to mention, even the optics are still the same. It's just that there is just minor changes from the optics. I mean, like when I say minor changes, I'd say Abid be shifting from the Hibana to the Thermite. I wouldn't say that's a major change. I'd say it's just a change of breaches being done. Instead of using pellets to open up one particular angle, you can just use the breach to open up an entire line of sight and also an entryway. So they're just making some slight changes in their attack capabilities so that they could head in towards the site much more easier and shouldn't have much more barricades going along in their way. But looks like the first kill will come in from Vortex as he'll be able to take out Shrisha. Big drop as the Aruni has been taken care of. One exothermic charge being used to get the control on second floor master bedroom. And look at that information, giving around from Shinra's attack drones via Trophy. Now, since they're much more afraid of the Trophy side, and Vortex still waiting for that leg to arrive, and Shinra giving such good information, just needs to wait it out for 5 or 6 seconds. Another exothermic charge will be used to open up dining room, and look at that change of pace they're doing. In the previous round, you saw them pushing in towards Trophy. Now they're pushing in towards dining room, and this will confuse Team GG's defensive strategies. And talking about time, look at High Five's good attack coordination. They have a minute and 30 seconds left. They opened up the entire wall in towards second floor master bedroom and dining in order to make sure that the defenders wouldn't have control on that specific angle, but it is not enough. Poison will down Shinra. Looks like the confirmation will come in from a grenade on Vortex to take out Zedux. I believe that was right from the drone hole where he was holding from an angle, and Shinra's drone was the one who was giving good amount of information. And talk about 50 seconds, a 4v3 where High Five might be in a bit of a trouble because Shinra is still down. The push needs to happen.
That it does, but EX7 has a lot to say about that right now. He will find one, but there is a refrag from the G36 of Vortex to find Poison. Frost on the board, but do they know of EX7's position? They don't, and that will be Diffuser drop. There's the SMG-11 of Viper onto Shinra, leaving Vortex the last one standing. No more, as Viper will finish him off as well. Unfortunate. They were not looking at the balcony outside of library. They should have been, but they also needed to worry about the smoke inside of sight. There was only so much they could do as well, and even then, they couldn't flush him out. If they had gotten smoke off of that position early, had they managed to find him at any point before EX7 made that peek on balcony, they would have gotten in. And High Five would have had the round, most likely, had EX7 not been able to pull off something crazy. But it was simply not to be. And Team GG will still hold out for another round, giving themselves round 5. And that kitchen dining defense was pretty good, all things considered. Now round 6, we're going to see them go towards the main master bedroom side again. And looking back at the scores that we have had for the half so far, this is the only site, master bedroom office, that they won first try, and that too relatively comfortably. I mean, they did have a few issues here and there, we won't lie, but they still won it relatively comfortably, and that's all they need for themselves right now. A little bit of comfort, a 3-3 on the half, going into attack while stopping High Five from getting any momentum. That is Team GG's ideal state right now, and if they are able to do this, then oh boy, are we in for a really good game.
Oh, we definitely do, Jack. And talk about Team GG's. Actually, talking much more about the team, I would say, like, are you still keeping in tabs for Poison and Taha's? The rivalry game. I mean, I believe Taha did get 2 kills, whereas Poison was the one mainly who mostly got 3 to 4, 3k or 4k per round. I believe Taha got 2 wins against Poison, and Poison haven't, got a single frag against Taha. So if I think it might come to a change when it's on the attack phase, because the gun itself, I can understand the Frost's primary weapon, which has less fire rate but has a decent damage, and also you don't have to worry about more of the recoil. But Shrisha will be able to win his duel against Shinra, and that too, it is the Maverick. No breaching torches, no grenades. And that is going to put High Five in a bit of a trouble, because most of the hard breachers, that would be a Vidwi, he needs to be alive, and he needs to use his exotomic charge to open up the second floor master bedroom, and also not even mention in towards the office side. So one exotomic charge will be used, and it shouldn't be much of a problem to destroy it. Actually, a bit of a problem though, because one of the mute jammers will deny making that, but it shouldn't be too much of a bother for the Ash to use the breach charge right from below to take it out. Now with that, we will see the breach being opened into a second floor master bedroom. Now the main problem is that they have to deal with Poison. Now Poison is playing on a very choke angle, in which he needs to worry about two angles. One in towards the office, the second the breached wall of the bedroom side. And talk about time, it's definitely not favoring the side of Team High Five. With Shinra taken care of, there's only 4 players left, and they have to figure out a way to take out players and try to equalize it. But will it happen though? Because High Five is still trying to figure out a way to get those kills.
Yeah, sorry about that. Had a little bit of an incident drinking water, but let's not focus on that, folks. Right now, of course, High Five have already lost Shinra, and they're looking a little worse for wear. Time is also not really on their side right now, as they need to get in. Poison and Trisha are a little low on HP, admittedly, so they could probably take advantage of that. Smoke grenades are going out, and there's the timer going in, but no, that's not going to work out. Poison finds one, only to get found, and there's a full bloodbath on site, as Edex does find Taha. He's been downed as well, but the diffuser needs to be picked up right here, right now. If not in these next couple of seconds, they won't be able to do it. Shotgun comes in, but he misses. They have to go for the plant. They have to extend somehow, but they won't be able to. Unfortunate. It was so close right there, so close in the round, but it simply was not to be. Hussein, I don't know where Hussein was. We only saw the Iana in front of us, of course, and not enough time for Vortex to go for the plant, and not enough security, I guess. But even then, some would say maybe not, as Team GG will in fact take round 6, making it 3-3 on the half, going into the other side strong now, as they have needed to be. I5 now on the defense will be facing the brunt of the force that is attacking on, well, they'll have to bear the storm that is approaching, and that storm is called attacking on Chalet. Team GG, ooh boy, the ball is in your court, because they are the ones now building up some solid momentum.
Yep, that I can agree on that, Jack, because Team GG, especially on that previous round, got lucky because of Hussein's positioning. Although, yes, Iana was all by herself, and the only thing that she could have done is to go for the frags. She did exactly that. Talk about Hussein, I really had no idea where exactly his positioning was. Maybe he was trying to, head in towards Solarium and then slowly make his way in towards second floor master bedroom. But yeah, quite unfortunate for Team High Five not being able to get a solid lead in the first half, even though it's their map pick, 3-3. Now they have to figure out a way to defend very well on the second half. Talk about the OpEx on the attack sides. You have Zedux with Iana, also EX7 bringing in Zero's Sam Fisher. I just cannot believe I just said Zero's Sam Fisher instead of saying Zero's Argus Camps. It's just...
I mean, you call him by the name you know him the most with, right? And most of us have known him as good old Sam Fisher. So, yeah. Chaos I mean, I call it the Sam Cams. Why not,
Yep. All those memories that we had. Chaos Theory, Conviction, those were good old days. But, focusing on the game at hand, we will see the first frag coming in, and it is going to be Shinra taking out Shrisha. That is an amazing rhyme. I'm not gonna lie. And talk about, Poison and Taha. I think we need to keep more tabs on Shinras and Shrisha, because every single time there's always a spawn peek from the defenders. Even in the first half, you saw Shrisha going in for the spawn peek, playing as the Aruni. And now on round 7, Shinra is just returning the favor back to him, saying that, look, since you've done it, why not I do the same? Early kill for Team High 5, as Team GG will be suffering from this.
Oh, that they will, as another one goes off. That's Poison with the LMG onto Shinra. One trade that was needed for the side of Team GG. The issue is they are on the attack, which means they will need to do just a little bit more to get themselves into a little bit more entrenched into the round, closer to side. Zedux is extremely close, but the ADS will stop the grenade from going through and destroying. No, it actually won't. The ADS caught something else, apparently, and that grenade has managed to go through successfully. Vortex is falling back, knowing that the breach is going to be going through on that office wall, meaning he can't hold that long angle without the risk of getting, just shot in the face. So he'll have to just fall back and hold on to his head for a little while longer. Oh, there, excuse me. Had a little bit of a hiccup on my internet. Do excuse me for that, folks. But yeah, that's what I was saying. High fives just have to hold on to their heads for a little bit longer. They're playing it patiently. That's what they need to do. Because Team GG, after that kill on Shrisha, are quite apprehensive and they want to be as sure as possible. You can see it, but that is eating up time. And the more time it eats up, the less chances they have of winning this round.
Well, this is definitely not looking too good on Team GG's side. And look at that time, 25 seconds. They have to do it. Do or die situation for the attackers, and EX7 has been blocked by Aruni's gates. And look at the damage being dealt from Viper, and that is right from above. Jaeger in towards mezzanine balcony, and now they have the execution. They have to go in for the push. EX7 sees the deployable shield, but it's too late. Vortex is here. 2 kills for him. And the final kill will come in from Taha. Take out one more player on the side of Team GG. It looks like we'll be able to see them win round 7 first floor kitchen and dining. But for now, we just have to go in for a pause timer because the players on the side of Team GG is experiencing some technical issues. So we just have to come back and wait for them for their issues to quite possibly get fixed. It should be fixed nonetheless. It's just a Discord issue. They'll be able to reset it and come back as soon as possible. But talk about round 7. Team GG took so much time. They took so much time to open first floor dining, even
Some
with
would
the
say too much
ace.
time.
Yeah, I mean, like they even have the ace with summer beach charges. They couldn't open it because of the electroclaw being placed. They didn't have control on second floor master bedroom, in which they could have went in if they had a direct entrance either from the solarium or from the trophy entrance, but they didn't do that. But instead, they just went in towards the main entrance. You see all 3 players pushing in, and EX7 was the one who had to take the initiative, got blocked from the Aruni's gate. And when he thought that was the only thing that was laying out from his obstacle, there was another obstacle which was popularly called as the deployable shield. So much obstacles that Team GG had to go through in a total of 30 seconds. Now that is really not good, especially on the attacker's standpoint. Look at how High Five's attack coordination was. They do all of those works and still have a minute and 30 seconds left. Opening up the walls, taking out deployable shield, every single time that they utilized were used in the early rounds. And then in the mid rounds, they would use their drones to try to figure out what kind of positions that they are and try to see whether if High Five could figure out a way to force the defenders to reposition themselves so that they could get that early pick. That's exactly what. That's basically how High Five operates. And talk about Team GG, they exactly know what High Five is going through. And talk about both of these teams not being not changing most of the operators. It's just early peaks and only spawn peaks coming in either from Shrisha or Shinra. It's always that battle between who would get the early kill at the early round. And talk about Team GG, they did not succeed nonetheless. Shrisha immediately get caught out from Shinra's Pete and Roni. So this is a bit of a problem for you know Team GG, knowing that they have to deal with certain problems like these.
That is very true. Right now, Team GG, they will need to speed things up 100%. Unfortunately, in the last round, they just took way too long, like you said, Baba, of course. And like you mentioned, how High Five were very quick, they had expedited the process of attacking to such a degree that they, more often than not, had more than a minute and 10 seconds minimum on hand to execute onto site. That goes a long way in getting a good position ready for yourselves, for the plant, for the execute. Team GG just weren't able to do that. They were not able to take control on second floor. They were not able to open up the site itself. They were way too hesitant after Shinra fell. Excuse me, after Shrisha fell. I should probably mention that. As Shinra's been playing a lot of Maverick. Now Shrisha's playing Maverick. They both start with SHs in their name. It's really the same, all things considered. They just play very differently. That's all there is to it. With all that said, folks, we're going to be heading right back into the match itself, as High Five are now 4-3 up going into the 8th round, and Asane has decided to go for a very interesting 6th pick into the Clash out of the Frost. No bear traps this round, and even though they have been doing their work, at the very least delaying the attackers from getting into, important positions and all that stuff, Clash it does roughly the same thing, just a little bit more actively, as a gigantic live observation tool and electrification device. Extremely annoying to deal with. I mean, ask anybody who has had to face against a good Clash player. Whoo boy.
I mean, the best part about Clash is that she is a ranged barbed wire, which deals damage. I mean, I wouldn't say a barbed wire. I could say it's kind of similar to a track stinger to Gridlock, because it does both.
I guess you could. I guess you could call it a wireless track stinger.
Oh yes, wireless track stingers. Just like we call Banshee as just like we called Melusi as the wireless barbed wires. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Clash's pick has been increased considerably, knowing that her that her main gadget can be used to slow the attackers, and that's exactly what you require. You need to decrease the the agility from the attackers, so that most of the defenders would have a good chances of getting those frags. Not even mention, Clash is very irritating, and mainly being picked because most of the bans that you do get to see from the attackers. Wait a minute, the grenade almost thrown out from the Jaeger in towards the toilet side, but he will survive nonetheless. But yeah, talking about that previous conversation, where most of the ban phase would always revolve around either Valkyrie for because they don't want to deal with either information nor with other players. But talking about the first frag here, it is going to be Vortex taking out one.
Oh no.
Poison is down, and so does Viper. That is two big players, and looks like High Five has got this under control. And Team GG is going to suffer for this, because that is all three players gone in the mid-round. And with the Clash providing nuisance to Z-Dogs. And here comes the slow again with the pre-fires. Won't be able to get the kill nonetheless. Talk about Hussein. He is slowly approaching to the Iana, but Shrisha immediately comes in with that pre-fire right from the place, and looks like a turnaround will come in from Team GG's this time. High Five really needs to be careful, especially in the mid-rounds. They had that huge advantage, and now they're giving it back to Team GG. 3v2 as we reach the minute mark. They will pick up the diffuser and slowly start to get in towards the site.
They need to get to the side here and now. It's just Shrisha and Zedux, which means they'll have to be careful as well. They've got 60 seconds, plenty of time to work with, and given some of the defender positions, they might just be able to pull this off, but it will need a kind of clutch that we've only rarely seen. A couple of times yesterday and a couple of times on the first quarterfinals, I think. But other than that, not a whole lot of it. As we have Taha, we've got a Vidri, we've also, of course, got Vortex, all in power play position. Zedex, wait a minute, he's approaching from the main stairs right now. Does he know that there's somebody right on the cusp of this door? He knows the other one. He's gonna see him, take him down. Can he get the second one? Yes, he does. Wait a minute, Taha missing a lot of those SMG-11 shots right now. And Shrisha's the one with the diffuser, which means the plant can go off relatively unscathed. Grenade will find that deployable shield, as Vortex will see the Gemini. That's his signal to start moving. He somehow dodges the bullets coming for his head, and he needs to go in. He needs to deny the plant. Is he going to be able to? No, he's not. The clutch is complete. Oh, Team GG will be the ones to win out round 8. Excellently coordinated between Zdux and Shrisha. That right there is an example of what seems to have been clear, concise, precise comms and execution. That is what the rest of the team needed. And high five, really, after that initial burst of success, you'd have thought they would be going 5-3 up right now, but no, that is not to be. They will lose that round, the 8th round, which means in round 9, we are 4-4 equalized. And just like we said at the beginning of the stream, folks, this match, oh, it's going to be a long one.
Oh, it is definitely going to be a long one. And talk about Hussein, he was just pressuring a lot to the Iana. Somehow, it worked out in favor of Team GG. A 2v4 miraculous clutch from the attacker's side. It's going to put high five speechless. We talk about yet another 6-pick coming in from Hussein, switching from the same operator yet again. Clash being brought up once more. Will they realize their mistakes, or will they do the same thing again is my biggest concern. Now, talk about high fives, brutal plays from the early picks itself. You saw how, you saw like Viper and Poison just got picked out quite immediately in the hands of Vortex and Shinra. It was just Shrisha and Zdux, the only 2 players left to make that clutch happen, and they evidently did so. A good job from them, I'm not gonna lie. That was an amazing place coming in from Shrisha and Zdux. Surviving is exactly what they need, and because of that, they're going to equalize it 4-4, Jack. Team GG still has a chance, even though if they do make a mistake or not, they can come back, and also there is high likely a chance for an overtime as well. Talk about Shinra and Shrisha. We haven't seen any spawn picks coming in just yet. And talk about the first frag. It's going to be Zdux taking out Taha this time. Things are not looking too well, and guess what? He's already in towards the bathroom side, getting the clearance in towards Trophy by taking out Taha, and now he's slowly making his way to get that control. A good aggressive start from the Iana, and now he needs to worry about the clash, and that would be Hussein. EX7, I believe he has the information, and if he can get it, if he can try to at least take out Hussein right from below, that would be a good idea, but he'll be able to take it out from below because it is hard walled. The floor is hard walled, I mean. Talk about the push though. Team GG definitely not wasting any time as they will succeed opening up the walls. And talk about time, they have minute and 50 seconds. They're slowly, closely inching their way in towards the side.
That they are, but the clash is proving to be a big problem along with Shinra. What a shot. Viper, he's gonna feel that one in the morning, and that is the diffuser drop as well. Shinra needs to get out, but no, too late. Zdux comes in for the refrag as the ADS will find the frag grenade from Shrisha. That's one more off the board. Can he find the Jaeger? No, not quite. Here comes the clash again. And that is an uncooked grenade thrown out, and there's the Jaeger with a beautifully connected headshot. Vortex is now off the board. Well, excuse me, the Vortex finds one and takes him off the board, but he was nearly off the board as well. Jumps straight back down to side, but there's somebody waiting for him, and that someone is EX7. Hussein. No, he was way too busy with the Surya gate. Should have been watching for himself, but nope, that did not happen. And well, that, of course, along with the final kill, is going to allow Team GG to get another round on board for themselves. It was a game of trades, well, until it wasn't. EX7 found one, then Avidwi got found, the Clash got found, everybody goes down, and Team GG, for what is, I believe, the first time today, has taken a lead in the match, and what a time to take a lead. Round 10, with them now being one round away from map point, and going 1-0 up on the map count. That's 2 rounds to win for Team GG, 3 for high five, and overtime is looking more likely than ever.
Well, it can happen. Talk about overtime and talk about high five. Some, I wouldn't say huge mistakes. It's just that Hussein was mainly concerned on opening up the Surya gates because he just wanted to waste a lot of utilities. You had the Maverick with his grenades to try to flush out the clash. He thought maybe if I just turn on the Surya gates, he would be forced to use one of his utilities, and that utility would be none other than the grenade. But unfortunately, he forgot that most of the players would got most of the players were taken care of, and I believe that was Iana who in the end did get the trade-off from the clash. So quite unfortunate for Team High 5, who were defending very well on first location and dining. And now with that 2v4 motivation that Team GG had, thanks to Shrisha and Zedux, things will go smoothly for Team GG. The same cannot be said for High 5. Talk about the early picks and also Poison using his breach charges to get an instant access into the garage. Shouldn't be much of a problem to get information via the attack drones, and talking about the default camps which should be destroyed in the hands of the attackers. But there is a lot of problems that needs to be dealt with, and that problem is going to be Zedux. He's already towards the enemy. He's going to get one, but not get the other. As Taha comes in to immediately take out Zedux. My goodness, what happened from that stage? They didn't had any information, and that early kill, Jack, is none other than smoke. There goes 3 smoke gas canisters, which is so essential for the late rounds, and with a Wid be taken care of, they just have to worry about C4s, and guess what, they only have one, and that is Taha, and Shrisha comes in to take out yet another one. That is Vortex gone from the mezzanine stairs. Oh boy, Team High 5, an unexpected surprise, but a welcomed one on the side of Team GG.
That is for sure. Those 2 kills are going to be extremely influential. That too, Taha is very low on health. Shrisha, in the meanwhile, is a little low himself, but not enough to be worried just yet. As there we go, the breach is done, and now they will need to worry about the operators inside a site. Viper's got a drone. He's going to send that in nice and quickly, get a little bit of information for himself and his team. As Shrisha needs to watch out for these lines of sight that are everywhere, pervasive within the site itself. But no, Shrisha's gonna go down. Taha, with that kind of low HP, still making things work. Viper, that is brave and brazen at the same time. He's going for the plant, but he's gonna be denied. That Shinra coming in along with the Frost to find one more. Poison is taking damage. He doesn't know from where. He's just running around, looking around all over the place, but is still unsure of where those shots came from. But the most important thing is, Diffuser has been dropped. Poison is the last one standing. It's a 1v3, folks. And the Zofia was, as far as we last saw, going up, but no, has moved in towards the closet of Bar and Gaming. There's a little bit of damage to the Frost. Shots fired back. Poison trying to get one, and he will. Can he get the second? He knows that there's one right there. He's peeking hard. But there's another one to be worried about. He is still moving around. Poison is very aware of the fact that one misstep can get him killed. He needs to find Taha, and he needs to find Shinra here and now. Shinra, what a position to be in, but not quite. He's going to get down and cleaned up on. It's all up to the Kaid. Where is he? Nowhere to be seen. Poison has the diffuser. He's got to go for the plant, and unfortunately, he walks straight in to the Kaid's waiting bullets. Taha, put on such low HP by Zedux at the very beginning of the round, ends up with what I believe is a triple kill for his team at one of the most crucial junctures of this match. And oh boy, was it ever a time to go 5-5 up on round 11. We are definitely going to the round of ones, folks. But before that, it is round 11 with both sides looking strong.
The force is with both of these teams, Jack. And talk about Zedux. For a moment there, I thought that was their weak point. They almost exploited the weak point, that is. Like they picked out Awidby so well, and yet Taha was still there. He was still helping. I wouldn't say helping, I'd say he's the one who saved the team to get that win on first floor kitchen and dining. If it wasn't Taha, then I'd say the Team GG would have been in match point at this point. 5-5 equalizer coming in from Team High, from the defenders. And talk about the side, first floor bar and gaming room. We don't think this will favor to Team High 5 at all, because Team GG have succeeded in winning this site twice. Can they break the streak? Oh my goodness, Shinra already with the spawn peak.
You were asking for a spawn peak, Baba. You got one.
Yep, I was asking for a spawn peak, and looks like we will get one. Shinra, the star, is starting off with his first frag, taking out Zedux. Gone 6. Definitely gone for Team GG. That utility is so important to take out those deployable shields. Not to mention they have two deployable shields, one from a Widwi and one from Hussein, who in fact the alibi will be quite potentially uh, be holding an end towards library rooms. So yeah, not a good day for Team GG at this point, because that early kill is definitely favoring for team on the side of high five.
100%. Zedux has been a very good playmaker from the side of the attacking team right now. And that means with him gone, we're going to see a more probably reserved Team GG. And that, of course, is not going to be good for them. If we all remember round 7, Team GG were extremely reserved. They were quite late to do much of anything, and that costed them the round in its entirety. And now, with Zedux being taken out from that beautiful spawn peak, that's going to leave pretty much no room for error from the side of Team GG. They can still bring this back. Don't get us wrong, folks. But it will be quite tough. As Poison opens up the balcony window, of course, you want to have that line of sight, especially on the library balcony, because there is always a very important, a key player sitting on that balcony. And there we go. Poison's going to rappel in as well. He knows of the lines of sight inside of library and inside of the connector room that goes into library. Viper speaking that same angle as well, having now just opened it up with the Selma breach. But there is still so much to do, and they've got only 50 seconds left. 50 seconds is a long time in Rainbow Six, don't get us wrong. But at the same time, given that for the last few rounds, they would be in the same position so much earlier, it's not going to look too good, but EX7 is wanting to make it look a little bit better for themselves. He's found Hussein. Big drop right there. Poison wants to find another one, but no! I don't know what he thought about that situation right there, but of course the Jaeger was not down. Vortex is going to be taken down. Now Shisha comes in for cover, and a good one, but a little too late to save his friend. That's going to lead to a 3 versus 3 situation in the last 20 seconds. It's now or never. Team GG, if you want to stop High Five from getting the match point, you need to start moving now. As the gas grenades are going out, Taha is just sitting there inside a game zoom, but it won't matter. Double P10 from the Aruni. Shinra comes in, leaving EX7 the last one standing. And there's only so much that he can even do, which means High Five, on the defense are going to be the ones to go onto map point. That is correct, folks. If they win this 12th round, then they will be the ones to take the first lead in this best of 3 today. And if Team GG wins this round, then we go 6-6 into round 13 overtime. And oh boy, the stakes are already so high for a spot in the semifinals. We always knew that this match would be a humdinger of a game. And oh boy, it is about to be.
Well, it is about to be, Jack. And yeah, like talk about Poison, who just lost that gunfight against Hussein. I believe that he thought that it was a soft wall, and he thought there was high likely a chance where the the alibi wouldn't have made a soft wall, like opened up the soft wall in towards the library and also in towards that small room that you have. He thought that it wasn't there. He thought that they didn't make any rotate, and because of it, Poison decides to look on the right side, which was at the stairs. But unfortunately, it did not happen. And yeah, unfortunately for Poison, he didn't get to win that gunfight. And I believe Taha has been unfortunately been disconnected. And I believe a rehost will happen. Talk about the kills around here. Shinra and Vortex, 14 and 11 kills. And yeah, unfortunate. We just have to go back for a rehost because Taha has been disconnected. And main reason why you definitely need to have a rehost, because it is 6-5, where High Five is in match points. So definitely they have to bring Taha back on track, because if they do not, then there is high likely a chance where Team GG might have the chance to put this map point on their hands. So again, apologies for the viewers who had to deal with such issues. Yes, we are connectivity issues and all this stuff happens for for all of us. We just have to wait out for around 5 to 6 minutes for the rehost to completely fill in, wait for the players to join in towards the lobby, and continue with all the information that we have. Again, Team GG, I wouldn't say that such great plays are coming in from High Five at this point. Not even mention the early kills from Shinra, who in fact is they're actually winning out mostly in that early picks. If Shinra picks out one of the important players, and he's doing exactly that. At once he picked out Zedux, which was in the previous round on round 11, and round 7 he picked out Shrisha. So I believe mainly what Avim is doing. I mean, Avim as in Shinra, right? Like, should we call him Avim or should we just call him Shinra? At this point, I'm very confused.
See, that's the thing. He used to go by Avim for the longest time, right? Until
Yeah.
only recently he changed it to Shinra. I say recently. It's about to be, I think it's actually going to be close to a year now. He's been going by that name.
Yeah. I
Really,
mean,
really, it really speaks about the passage of time. 2020 and 2021 have been a blur for a lot of us, and
yep.
we all know why. We don't have to get into the reasons, folks. Just the global pandemic it's been a thing. But yeah, he's been going around with the Shinra name for long enough now. I'd say calling him Shinra and calling him Avin is we're still talking about the same person here. And most folks who've watched the scene, the South Asian scene, for long enough will know that yeah, when we say Avim, we are talking about Shinra. So I'd say you can call him Avim, but I probably think that at this point, Shinra is the name that he himself would be wanted to be called out on the cast, unless of course he himself has something else to say about that. Avim, if you're watching this after the match, I don't know if you are, let us know. Over on social media or something, DM us if you will. But yeah, it's not a burning question. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the nation wants to know or something. But yeah, it's
No, yeah, even I'm also quite curious to know why Avim changed his username, because there has to be a story in it, right? There has to be a story, because last time I remember, Avim used to be in I believe he was in Kira Esports at the beginning. He used to be
mhm.
playing with Rattler, Rats, and
Oh, that
most of
was a
the
team.
yeah,
That was a team. Wow.
that was a team way back. I used to call them the R square of Kira Esports, but yeah,
Yes, he
like I
did.
even made a custom goggles because of that. But since a huge changes in the rosters, we saw Avim shifting from Kira Esports to, I believe, ESM, eSamurai, like eSamurai Esports, I believe. And
Mm.
that was, I believe, the time where they did defeat Union Gaming and forced them to not compete in South Asian Nationals. I believe I remember that time. And then at the last, ESM couldn't get to join in because EXT were the one who got the spot on the South Asian Nationals. So that was a long time ago. And now, Avim, who was, in Kira Esports, changed in from, ESM. Now he's in High Five. The performance from him is absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna lie. The way how he performs on both attack as well as on defense, he is popularly known for his spawn peaks. And there are some times where on the attack he might get caught off guard, but still Avim is an excellent when it comes to playing as a support role, and also is particularly known for eliminating support roles on defense. So having a player like that on Team High Five and being coordinated both at the same time is also an amazing thing to look at. But the same thing can be said to Team GG though, because you see some quite similar faces. You have EX7, formerly UG player, who in fact he's decided to play on Team GG, and I believe I believe either Sandy or yeah, I believe Sandy is the one who's trying to fill in the shoes for EX7 for now. But yeah, EX7, Shrisha, who was in Virtual 5 Esports. I mean, Virtual 5 Esports, that was a long time. Virtual 5 Esports, man, they were so confident. They even got an immediate spot on the South APAC Nationals, and damn, that would have been like that immediately hit hard for them. But Shrisha, an amazing player on him as well. He has quite the similar play style as Avim does, and it's always like a one-on-one battle to see whether who does better to whom. So that's the one thing that I have to talk about. Second would be Taha and Poison, in which everyone loves to keep on tabs at, because they have that good amount of rivalry they have in between. So there is a lot of history about High Five and Team GG. And hopefully, if you want to share, if you do want to share your stories about why you changed your username, and about the rivalry, if you want to talk about, please just DM us. We surely do want to know the story, and hopefully we could explain it to the viewers out there that would that would have some good stories in between. That's what I like. We the casters are always interested in listening to the stories, as well as the entertainment, the amount of performance that you guys give in on the streams. So it's always good to check that out. But yeah, still we're just waiting for the viewers to join. Sorry, not the viewer. Just cannot believe I just said the viewers. We're just waiting for the players to, join in and make sure that everything is according to place. Yep, everyone is here. We're just waiting for the ready confirmation from the players. And without wasting any time, we'll just head back and resume match point for Team High Five. Taha is back, and hopefully we will go to round 12. And I believe that with the rehost, Hussein might get disconnected and reconnected back at the same time. It shouldn't be much of a problem. I mean, Maker also had the same problems in the previous round, but no disconnections on either of these teams. So we will definitely not waste any time. Wait, we just have to pause for again because my spidey senses, actually not spidey senses, I would say my Baba senses did eventually came out true.
I
So
think
Hussein,
I think you mean your Gusta tingle.
yes, my Gusta tingle, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I just cannot believe that actually immediately
Oh,
worked. Yeah,
there
there
we
you go.
go.
Hussein's back. I mean, that's the same issue that even Maker had when we saw MRCZ go up against Team Sage Empire. So yeah, we will be back, and soon enough, let's see whether High Five can get this map point, or we might see overtime.
Well, given the way this match has gone, Baba, all jokes aside, there is a very solid chance of overtime, folks. Let us not underestimate the performance from Team GG, despite them having lost round 11. They have looked good for a majority of this match. One lost round here or there does not necessarily dictate the way the rest of this game is about to go. And we all know that this team, Team GG, Trisha, Zedux, EX7, Viper, and Poison, they are not ready to give up. Not at all. High Five, on the other hand, well, we all know where they stand at this point. This team has been through quite a bit. We talked about Avim, i.e. Shinra, who I believe has actually informed us in the chat that he actually prefers to be called Avim. So we'll just keep calling him that as it goes. But yeah, Avim, we talked about him, extensively. His history with Kid Esports, his history with ESM, that was a team. And now, of course, the rest of this High Five team is also, pretty interesting when you look at it. There were players from, I believe, former Mischief Gaming in there. They were also called Valhalla Esports for a while until they transitioned to being High Five. Yep. You have, of course, Taha, formerly from Mercenaries. Just the whole thing. They're comprised of some of the best players from different teams of this region, and so far, in their stint as High Five, short as it may have been so far, has been relatively impressive, I have to say. Sure, they still have a ways to go before they can stand up completely toe-to-toe with teams like Mercenaries and the like, but oh dear me, EX7. He was not expecting somebody to jump out of that same window that he was droning through for Library Vortex. It really showed him what's good. That is a huge kill. Tom, meanwhile, sets a pre-play C4, blows it up as well. Unfortunately, isn't going to find anything off of that. Shinra's here, and he knows that there's somebody on the rappel. Vortex will find Zedux. In the meanwhile, one more down. It's a 5v3, and the attackers are looking worse for wear. Vortex with a triple. He's all over the place. He is everywhere right now. And unfortunately, Team GG just do not have an answer. Either they don't or they haven't been able to come up with one, but they will need one very soon as Shrisha jumps in to the mudroom, to the closet of the hallway. Vortex goes down. His reign of terror has been ended. Viper makes sure of that, but it's still a 2v4, and it still looks really, really tough for Team GG.
Well, the Viper definitely made Vortex sting a lot, but still there is a lot of work to be done. And guess what? It is back on 2v4. Oh no, it is 2v3 because Taha unfortunately have been disconnected. And there is high likely a chance where Team GG can make this happen. The only difference is there isn't Zdox, but it is Shrisha and Viper back again. We saw Shrisha make some excellent plays, like he won that 2v4 on round 8, Force Pro Power and Gaming Room. So there is high likely a chance where this can happen. But for now, we will see Hussein just patiently waiting for the attackers to make their push. The site is on Wine and Cellar. Sorry, Wine and Snowmobile Garage. Flashbangs will come in. Hussein patiently winning around. He gets one. Can he get the second? Yes, he does! Hussein comes in to take out 2 players on the side of Team GG and make sure the Team High Five will get their map point on Chalet 7-5. One amazing plays coming in from Team High Five, and the same thing can be said to Team GG. There was almost a 2v4, a clutch to happen, but unfortunately it will not. Vortex with a triple kill that he made in the early kills, and now we will proceed to the next map. Which will it be? It will be on map Clubhouse. So this is High Five's pick, map Clubhouse. But there is high likely a chance where Team High Five can win it out. So it's more of like a huge. It's more of like a huge balance between Team GG and High Five's playstyle on map Clubhouse, because everyone like Clubhouse is most played maps on on the South APAC region. So there is high likely a chance where we might see some good back-to-back plays coming in from them. But as we know it, the first map will go in for Team High Five. The only question is, will they do the same thing on map Clubhouse, or will we see a decider Oregon?
Well, as we just saw, a 7-5. Okay, we were denied overtime, understandably so. But High Five managing to win out map 1. Quite good performance from them. Team GG as well. We'll actually, talk a little bit more about that with the highlights that will come up on your screens in just a quick second here. And yeah, there we go. It is up. So let's, take a little bit more time, just talk about the overall performance. And I have to say, both teams were doing pretty well. Initially, of course, it seemed like a High Five-esque game. They were looking strong for the first few rounds right there. The first few rounds were really good. Even round 3, they started off quite well. Unfortunately, it was not to be. They were not to have a dominating start, as Team GG showed. Poison in that round was just something else, man. And yeah, Taha left alone in a 1v3, couldn't really do much. He did find Poison, just give himself a little a little pat on the back about killing Poison right there. Their friendly rivalry continues. But yeah, overall, I have to say, very impressive game from both sides, as there were some very unfortunate mistakes. For instance, EX7 on the library balcony right here, his position not being given away earlier because of Viper's interference being run on the attacker's face first at that was definitely something else. And then the plant denial on round 6. Oh man, High Five again. Those were rounds that High Five potentially should have had they just been a little bit more aware. But it's not like Team GG didn't have those same mistakes either. Like, look at this round. Unfortunately, Taha missing a lot of those shots with that SMG-11 of his, and paying the price for it. And it was just a game of back and forths after that. Just one round after the other, after the other, after the other. It really looked like it could have gone either way. It really felt like overtime would be a huge probability. But that, of course, ended up not happening. And we ended up with a 7-5 going the way of, of High Five, I believe. Let me just quickly check that to make sure for myself. Yeah, it is High Five, folks. Man, what a match between both sides. I have to say, it was really impressive, and it's not even over yet. That was just map number 1, and we still have the second map. That is indeed Team GG's pick, Clubhouse, that they will be going on attack on. So that's going to make for a very interesting game, all things considered, because the way that Team GG have played, especially on the attack, there's a chance that they might actually be able to overrule Clubhouse's generally defender-sided nature and maybe even push for map 3. I guess we'll find out when we do. Map 2, will go live on your screens in just a short while. But before that, a quick break just to get ourselves rested and energized up once again. Stay tuned.
partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies. The partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AMD, the Esports Club Challenger Series 1, supported by Ubisoft, quarterfinals number 4. Here with the host, Blackjack and Babagusta. We already just had map 1, of course, not too long ago. And oh boy, was it a close game between Team GG and High Five. High Five ended up winning the map 7-5. And now, of course, they're going to be moving on to map 2. With High Five having taken the first map, they are 1-0 up on this best of 3. Should they win map 2, they will win it all. And if Team GG make a comeback here, then oh boy, Oregon map 3 will be under, all of our views and scrutinies because we will get to see it. But before that, Clubhouse, map number 2, Team GG's pick is going to go live on your screens right here, right now. That is right. Let us not waste any more time and get straight into the action as Hussein disconnects the usual pre-match ritual, I believe, that happens with some of the players in our region. Hussein is simply one of those players to experience this, whatever issue it is. But there we go. The first ban of the map has been taken care of. High Five on the defense, and they will decide to ban the Thatcher. Interestingly enough, Thatcher, of course, is an operator who sees just a ridiculous amount of bans. There's almost no point explaining it as to why, but this is an interesting one. Team GG will decide to ban Iana, and that is understandably so. Iana is just such a good operator when you look at her kit. You have the ARX or G36C primary. You have grenades as the secondary gadget. You've got the primary gadget of the Gemini replicator that is infinite drones, effectively speaking. And then, of course, you also have the Gone 6 for extra utility clearance in case the grenades weren't enough, alongside flashbangs and other grenades and other ops like Sledge and Zofia and all of that. Yeah, just an extremely powerful operator who will get banned alongside Mira right there from the side of Team GG. Of course, Mira has been banned before on this map, and understandably so. Those one-way black mirrors that she places down are just something else to deal with. And Maestro will be the final ban of the map, of this map tonight. That is with the ban phase, taken care of. Thatcher, Iana, wow, I am so used to saying Thatcher Flores or Thatcher Nomad that for a second there I forgot who I was about to talk about. Thatcher, Iana, Mira, and Maestro will be the bans for today. Interestingly enough, Wamai actually gets away scot-free, and that's why I believe we'll be seeing Shinra right there playing Wamai on the defense alongside the Jaeger, which will make attacker entry so much more difficult because of the sheer amount of utility denial that those two together can do. A Kaid will be 6-picked in place of the Valkyrie. Interesting decision right there from the defense. And in the meanwhile, an IQ will be 6-picked in by Z-Dux, understandably so. Utilities are the name of the game, especially on a map like Clubhouse. With all that being said, oh dear. I was about to say that I've kept the man for the mic long enough, but Baba seems to have had a bit of a disconnect right there. Is he back? Baba, say yes if you're back.
Yes, I am.
He is back, folks, and I've kept the man for the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack, and also apologies for the disconnect issues that I had. Just a bit of an issue that I had to clear out, but I'm glad that I fixed it as soon as possible. And there you have it, map number 2. A map will be Clubhouse. And with the action phase coming in play, we will definitely not be wasting any more time. Talk about the optics on the side of the attackers. We have ZDux bringing in the IQ. It is heavily required to have the, heavily required to check exactly where the defenders have placed their gadgets so that they'll be able to remove it as best as possible. But talking about Viper, we'll continue to do the half-wall trick from the Mavericks breaching torch. So it might take some time to open it up, but you definitely need to have at least one of the attackers repelled in towards the balcony side to give protection for the Maverick. Although they haven't opened up the garage just yet, talk about the information of the utilities being placed from the defenders. We will see EX7 get his first frag. Vortex goes down. Looks like Team GG will be off to a great start. Although they're the ones on attack, and it is their early kill with Vortex taken care of. The ADSs are still mainly their problem that it needs to be fixed. Throwing off those flashbangs and making sure that the players who is holding in towards the cache default won't be much of a problem for them. They could use the grenade right from below. It's just that they have to be worried about Romas, and that Romas is none other than Taha, who we last seen was at the blue stairs. I believe he will be slowly making his way in towards the garage, and looks like another kill will come in from Viper, taking out Taha, and a huge pre-fire from Hussein that will claim the life of the Maverick. And with it, we will see a minute and 20 seconds left for the attackers to make a push, and already we see a lot of chaos happening around. Team GG is currently the one having that man-count advantage, 4-2, where Shinra and Avidwi, who needs to figure out a way to disrupt the attackers' push.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
That they do. Avidwi and Shinra are the final line of defense right now. The smoke and the Wamai. The good thing, of course, for that construction holding smoke is that, construction cannot be breached because of the meat jammer, but Shinra's taken so much damage, and he's got to be so careful. The smoke is coming for support, but Shinra is still peeking somewhat aggressively right there. Has to be careful. Shrisha is right there on the other side of the CCTV window, and oh, what a shot from Shinra. Beautifully done. He needed to get that kill right then and there. It's a 2v3 now, and High Five might just be able to squeeze this one out. They still have a bit of work to do. Shinra's got to be so careful of the breach behind him, mind you, because of course, the push that could happen. But no, EX7 is going to go down from the construction window. And there goes another one from the SMG-11 of the smoke. It's all up to no one because High Five have just taken a big round 2v4, shall we say. Beautifully executed between Shinra and Avidwi, both taking 2 kills each in that 2v4. That was oh so very much required. They already have the first map on hand, and now they're looking to take map 2. Oh, Team GG needed to be so much more careful. 2 people peeking in through the construction door. 1 needed to watch that CC window, but no, they didn't. The run out worked. EX7 went down, and in that moment of distraction, ZDux went down to Avidwi, and just so many things happened so quickly. Team GG could not keep up. Round 1 goes to High Five, as they will be the ones to take the first round here on map number 2.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Second round, and talk about that beautiful 2v4 clutch from High Five. Will survive second floor CCTV and cash. A great plays from Shinra and Avidwi will make sure that they would get that win on cash and CCTV room. Now, even with that huge advantage that they had, it wasn't enough, and that run out from Shinra was a necessary one. He loves making risky plays like these, and talk about Team GG, if they don't, if they're not careful with that aggressive play just like it did in the late rounds, I believe that High Five will be short enough to see that they have good advantage in the first half, maybe a 4-2 or even better 5-0. But I really don't think 5-0 will happen against Team GT. So my biggest bet is that in the first half it can go to 3-3, knowing that you still have EX7 who always love to get that early frag outs, and also not to mention he did eliminate Vortex. So eliminating one of the most important operators, and not to mention the fragger on the side of Team High Five, will definitely give a huge blow. And also Team GG's easily success. Oh boy, that success immediately tarnished as Shinra comes in with an aggressive peek. He'll be able to take one just to get refragged in the hands of Zedux. Quite unfortunate for Shinra. The only thing that he can do as of now is use the Valkyrie cams and provide information to their team.
Oh man, losing EX7 though, not good for the side of Team GG. That is so much verticality that they have just lost. They still have Poison, with Ash's breaching rounds and breach charges. And of course, you have, whatever little the Maverick and the Hibana can get done. You've got the grenades, just a little bit more of soft breach that is possible, but unfortunately, nowhere near as expansive as EX7 would have been able to do. And there you go. That's the 2 breach charges taken care of, and now it's all up to the 2 breaching rounds, right there, that Ash now still holds. There's going to be some verticality, like I said, but not as much as Team GG would have liked. And another thing that I think we might see from Team GG is hesitancy. Remember, on Chalet, when they went to attack, Team GG were very, very hesitant, and kills like those will not help. Viper off the board thanks to the Valkyrie on first floor, garage. Vortex doing work. That is going to put them in a 3v4. Make that a 2v4. Kaid finds one. Shrisha has been down. It's all up to Poison, the last one standing. He needs to find one at least, as the impact grenade will get the confirmation. Poison in a 1v4. He knows that somebody was probably towards garage. That's what the Valkyrie has been the whole time. But no, C4 goes out. Will be shot down. But Poison will be shot down by Hussein as well. Quickly finishing it off in round 2, and a clean round at that from High Five. They clearly are looking strong after that beautiful 2v4 clutch in round 1. Round 2 was exceptionally clean, and Team GG starting off not on the correct foot right now. High Five 2-0.
2-0 for the defenders, and Team GG not looking too good on a map like Clubhouse. This is their pick, and looks like the defenders have so much opportunities. Things might go a bit harder for Team GG unless they figure out a way to dismantle their defenses. Talk about Vortex. Expect will come in from him, switching from the smoke
Attackers
to
need
the
to
Echo,
locate
having
and
a total of
defuse bombs.
2 Yokai drones. Would proved to be quite useful, especially on late rounds. All you had to do is just time it so well that you can disorient a player, especially when he's trying to go in for that default plant. So there's highly likely a chance where the Echo might be playing in towards the strip club side. The strip club place, or maybe better yet, the stock room itself. So there is quite a lot of opportunities for Team High Five to be denying plans like these, but they have to worry about the breaches and entryways such as jacuzzi wall, not to mention the hatch in towards logistics. So there is a lot of work for Team High Five to be working on, and they shouldn't be relying upon Echo. So the only thing that you can do is just try to use those yokai drones to get information rather than using it for plant denial. But for now, let's see what's going to happen as we proceed to the action phase. Poison definitely not wasting any time into getting his access in towards stock, and good amount of drone was coming in from the attacks, especially Viper, who has a good amount of information in towards garage, while we see EX7 on the prowl, who is slowly making his way to get that control in towards CCTV. Just needs to be careful about the players in towards red stairs, and that's where Poison might come in into play. Hibana's Scaros Palace will come in to open up lines of sight in towards CCTV, and Zedux definitely not wasting any time to get the control in towards stock. And there you have it. Multiple angles for Team High Five that needs to be worried about. One in CCTV, one in garage. And now the pressure is on for Team High Five. Will they get an immediate control on cash? or at least try to waste considerate amount of time so that we might see a huge good cause for the defender. Shinra will use the impact needs to try to take out the attract zones and soonly fall back into his construction, leaving the site on Cash Room uncontested. And now they are making their last stand in towards the site itself. So that means
Bomb located by
Team
attackers.
GG haven't opened up the jacuzzi wall, neither they have the control in towards logistics. So I have to say for Team GG, they have to get the control on logistics. If they do not, then I believe that High Five just have to worry about limit angles on gym and bedroom. That run out wasn't good enough for a Vidwi, and Viper will immediately get to see that another run out from
Excuse
Shinra.
me?
What just happened? High Five went so aggressive. Even though they had a huge advantage in their hands. And looks like Vortex will be the last man standing. He needs to find 4 more players or Volt out to take out the IQ. He needs to find 3 more players. And talk about time, Team GG has the opportunity, but Vortex is still alive and kicking. Triple kill for him. But he is so low on HP, so he needs to rely on those yokai drones. And now he just needs to wait for the time. And looks like he's going to use that information to take out the Hibana. Going to use that echo cams. No, echo cams has been taken care of, and this is exactly what happens when you try to mark instead of using pings, and that will put Vortex in a bit of a trouble. 5 HP post plant, 40 seconds, 1v2. Will this happen? And talk about Shrisha, who has the advantage from the global shield. Echo has no other way to just contest this angle, and unfortunately he won't be able to win it out. And with it, we will see Team GG win round 3, second floor, gym and bedroom. Although I had to say that red ping wasn't required. Like, they didn't need to red ping with the yokai drones. It is such a very good, utility where neither EX7 nor Hibana knew exactly where that utility was. If they just went in for a single yellow ping, that would have been more than enough for Echo to get that kill off from the Hibana. I believe Hibana realized that Echo is in from below. He might be able to shoot it from below, and that's the reason why Hibana decides to, immediately go in for a rotate, maybe try to plant in towards the bedroom side where she could not get caught off from below. So good job from Team GG, as they'll be able to win at least one of their attack rounds on second floor gym and bedroom. But still, I was so very confused on that double run out being made on second floor gym and bedroom.
Yeah, just a ton of questionable decisions from High Five. They definitely got far too ahead of themselves in that last round. Way too aggressive, way too aggressive. Team GG, sure, you all right, I understand to a degree where High Five's, aggression might have come from. They might have thought, okay, we took them out very cleanly in the last round, and even in round 1, they couldn't even close out a 2v4, a 4v2 that is. So we might just, go aggressive and put them at a disadvantage early, but not exactly the best decision made in that situation. I'm sorry, boys, but that just is how it is. And, you should probably expect Team GG to still be fighting hard, even if they didn't win the first 2 rounds. Clubhouse may be a defender-sided map, but it's not such a defender-sided map that attackers simply cannot win at all. That isn't how this map flows, and it hasn't flowed like that at all in ever. So you got to be careful when you make those decisions. Those are dangerous decisions being made right there. And then, of course, like Baba said, red pinging on an Echo drone that had not been spotted, not a good idea. But, oh, dear me, EX7. Ooh, got his head taken off cleanly right there. Vortex was not taking any prisoners, but unfortunately he got taken and finished off by the Hibana, who was there for the refrag. Shrisha needed a refrag and did diligence as soon as he got the opportunity. Just a little bit too late to save EX7 though. In the meanwhile, interestingly enough, Vidwi has taken a ton of damage. Not sure from where, but he's low on HP. He'll have to try and save himself a lot of trouble. Viper, man, that is inefficient, the way he's going about that. You need to be a little closer to the wall, a little bit more consistently, my guy. But regardless, the half-wall trick will happen. The breach will be taken care of. And at the minute 30 mark, well, I guess it's better late than never. Oh no, though! What was that? A Sade? Are you kidding me? The
Oh my-
double C4.
Didn't expect it to see that C4, and looks like Taha will be able to capitalize on it, taking out Poison, making it a 1v4, make that 0v4 as High Five. An explosive win from them, winning round 4. Actually on second floor, CCTV and cash room. My goodness, that C4 from Hussein definitely did change the entire round. Man, didn't expect to see that huge explosion, but yep, looking at it, High Five is currently in the lead, 3-1. And talk about round 5, the site being on Basement Church and Arsenal Room. Things might be a bit difficult for Team GG's attack coordination. And also, not to even mention, they haven't made any changes in their optics, although some optics will be shifted, where where Zedux was the one who's playing as the IQ. Now Shrisha will be the one to to be playing as the same operator, whereas Shrisha, sorry, not Shrisha, I'd say Zedux will be the one who was playing as the IQ. Will swap out to the Hibana, where he will do his work using the Exaro spells to open up the hatches in towards blue stock, actually from the stock, bar, and also last but not least the kitchen. That's the 3 main hatches that the attackers needs to open it up if you want to provide a lot of distractions. And their main concern is their point of push. Will they push in towards tunnel, or will they push in towards bar? Actually, not from bar, I'd say will they push in towards blue, because that's exactly how the attackers go in, where one of the attackers will be from the main stairs holding an angle. It's quite a traditional way to be holding as an attacker, but still a lot of problems might come in from the rumors, and if Team GG doesn't take care of it, ouch from
Shindra, where were you going? I mean, I get it. It's a Friday night. You want to hang out with the boys, but that's not the right time to do that.
I mean, he
was out on a stroll.
Ever get the feeling of deja vu, Jack?
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Oh, some say we've been in this place before.
Yep, higher on the beat, and we know it's definitely not the time to go, especially for Shinra though, because the way how he was going fast, I mean, it was way too fast, but not too fast. I mean, when it comes to spawn peak, if you keep making the same thing again.
Yeah, he wanted to put the pedal to the metal, really go all in on the gas, but yeah, that wasn't happening. Ooh, nearly had that though. Grenade does get one, and that is going to be another defender off the board, but down onto Zedux. Will the impact trick go off as well? Yes, it does. Hold up a minute. Kitchen House is being defended something fierce right now, and that, of course, is going to make things so much harder. More shots are being fired as Kitchen is being defended very, very fiercely. You can see Zedux is still alive though, and that is what matters. No impact tricking anymore, as the hatch will finally be open. Oh my goodness, there were so many gunfights happening just in this location alone. Zedux, you can ask him, he can tell you, but oh, what a shot from EX7. Beautifully done. He expected somebody to be by that close box, and he has taken care of another very important kill. 3 versus 5. After all of that effort from High Five, Team GG still are in a 5v2 situation, and things are not looking good. Grenade goes up, will be caught off by the Wamai Magnet. And Viper will have to be a little bit more careful. His position is given away. Shots fired towards him, but he is safe. Does he know that there's somebody right behind the shelf? He sees them now, takes him out, and it's a flawless round. Team GG. Well, that is something else right there from these folks on the attacking team. Beautifully done indeed. An attack round that goes oh so well, as they are now 2-3 and 1 round away from an equalizer.
Yep, looks like Team High Five will stick to the same side, Basement Church and Arsenal Room, whereas Team GG is looking confident, unless and until Shinra decides to do the same run out, just like he did from that hallway. It's just it was way too fast, and that too, it was right at the action phase, where Zedux was just casually strolling around, spawning in towards construction site, and then Shinra just immediately popped out of nowhere.
As many bombs as they can.
Shinra, of him. A sad day for him, though. Although his spawn picks did quite worked out well on map Chalet. He did pick out Zedux and Shrisha time and time again, even when he was on attack, but still. That's definitely got to hurt for him. Not even mention he was playing as the Goyo. Like I would have understand that if he could have gone in with a run out, maybe with a a versatile operator like the Mozzie, maybe a Doc, or better yet a Melusi. But
5 seconds.
with the Vector, which has considerate amount of damage, and obviously all it needs is just one simple headshot to the head, but it's best to have some damage and range both at the same time. So going with that run out wasn't a good idea, but who knows what's going to happen next for Team High 5 as we proceed to the action phase. Shrisha and Zedux, both of them who are spawned in towards construction. EX7 just doing what he does best, trying to get the
Bomb
early
located
plays
by
playing as the
attackers.
sledge. 2 grenades in hand, he could use it to take out either the utilities or the players themselves. But there is a lot of pressure on Team GG. If they do not get this equalizer 3-3, then that means Hi-Fi will conclude their first half 4-2, having that huge advantage, knowing that Hi-Fi will be the one on attack. And judging by the bans and the the map picks that Hi-Fi actually the Team GG has picked this site specifically, I can say that a beautiful angle being made from Vortex. Almost got the head of one of the attacker who was repelling in from that window, but a first frag will come in from Vortex to take out Zedux. Oh boy, how will you take out the hatches now? That is going to be so difficult, man.
While that is true, we should, remind our viewers that the kitchen hatch has still been taken care of. That is one of the more important ones with the way that Team GG has decided to push. But for them, there are other issues to be taken care of. That is Viper, who is trying to go in through the dirt tunnel, is, gonna have to face off against a smoke with a couple of ADSs to his name at that as well. Really. I hype that confrontation up, and all of it does is have his head hanging off the side of the shield as if, he had a sign up there like, shoot me. Well, that's going to be unfortunate, but Poison does find one in return. That is Shinra down, and that suddenly means that Hi-Fi with the ones at disadvantage. More shots are being fired, but Viper, wait a minute. He needs to go for a reload, and he needs to, reconfigure his position. He has a powerful position in dirt, but he's still going to go down to Taha, but not before EX7 found Vortex, making it a 3 versus 2. Much closer than the previous round, admittedly, but more needs to be done, and oh boy, Hassan's going to feel that in the morning. So will Taha. They're going to go down, and it's a 3-3 once again. Team GG on the attack, looking mighty strong. And just like the last map, just like Chalet, they have taken the final 2 rounds and the half, gone to the half 3-3, and now they're going onto the advantageous side of this map, this time defense on Clubhouse. Round 7 is now going to be underway with the second half coming in. Team GG, they are building up momentum once again, and they're doing it quite solidly.
Yep. Quite solid for Team High 5, winning their 3 defensive rounds, I believe, on second for CCTV, Church, and CCTV Cash. Unfortunate that they couldn't get to succeed defending on Basement, Church, and Arsenal Room, and that's going to put Team GG in an equalizer, 3-3. And now with the role swap, and also the side being picked the same, Basement, Church, and Arsenal Room, with some changes of the optics. We see EX7 bring in the Kaid, Viper with the smoke, Zedux with the Melusi, and last but not the least, Shrisha with the Valkyrie. So I believe one of the Valkyrie camps will be placed in towards kitchen and see whether if they could take out either the hard breaches. And talk about hard breaches, there isn't a Hibana, so they have to get in towards kitchen, and they have to open up the hatch, in which they will be dealt with either to impact needs, and not even mention the C4 in which Valkyrie has in her possession. So I'm quite intrigued to see how High 5 will get through this. The optics that they've brought out actually never mind, they have 3 hard breaches. I just realized Hussein actually has the Hibana. Never mind, I just for a moment there I thought they didn't bring in the Hibana, but there he is, Hussein. But yeah, even with the Hibana 6 star spell, they still have to deal with the Electro Claws in which EX7 has placed. So if they don't figure out a way to take out that important utility, then I'd say that Team High 5 will cause huge repercussions in the mid rounds. And not to mention that early kill from Poison to take out Shinra. Oh my god. What just happened? And EX7 almost sees the head and he kicks out Hussein as well.
Me?
2 hard breaches gone, and Team GG is just vibing at this point. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no. Hussein. He's going to look back at that moment and he is going to think, like, seriously, my head was peeking out while his was still, out of my line of sight. That is unlucky for the Hibana right there. The top of the hoodie gave his position away, and EX7 peaked just high enough to get the headshot, the positioning, and then the headshot before Hussein had any idea what was going on. And in the meanwhile, impact tricks are happening on that kitchen hatch. That was a C4, actually, I think, from EX7. And the second one is now going down. Shots fired. And ZDux, hold the phone. Another double C4. And this one's not going to look too good. And a third C4. It's C4s all over the place. As the final one will find Vortex. High 5. My goodness. Oh, they got completely overrun in this round. And Team GG, what a way to stamp their second half round. 4-3. They've taken the lead again, and we might actually end up seeing them winning Clubhouse.
Yeah, well, that is for true, Jack. And there's actually a saying for it. Cool guys don't look at explosions. And oh boy, as I felt bad for the Thermite, who actually placed his exothermic charge right from behind the reinforced hatch into his kitchen. Yes, it was an Electroclaw. Even with the Thermite using that exothermic charge to open up the hatch, it did not because of a C4 from EX7. From EX7 C4 that denied it. And for a moment when Thermite thought that, he actually did expand to number C4s, I'm going to put it right from the hatch and make sure that it won't, get caught off again this time. But what he did not expect is that the Melusi, who I thought that he would be having 2 impacts, but instead he had a C4. And that C4 claimed 2 lives on the side of Team High 5. At this previous match, Jack, I have to say, I bamboozled myself today. At the beginning, I thought that the attackers didn't had a Hibana. Next thing you know, I see Hussein playing as the Hibana. The second, I thought ZDux having the impact mage, but instead he is bringing in the C4, and now EX7 is going for a spawn pick into his jacuzzi. What is going to happen next? Will High 5
as as a wise man once said, you got bamboozled, look at you.
And also a great man once said, breathe it in. Especially, I could say that. I could say that for Team High 5 because they definitely need to, hold on. Because if they don't keep their minds calm, cool, and collected, then I'd say that Team GG is messing up High 5's mind.
That they are indeed. Things are not looking, will not be looking too good for High 5 if they don't get themselves, back on track here. Now, like you said, Team GG are just simply vibing. On the other hand, like you said, 4 C4s, one used as it just boggles my mind. One used as a replacement for impact tricking on the on that kitchen hatch. The other for a double C4 from ZDux, and then the final C4 to find the IQ. Like, that was something else. The EX7's gonna get flashed out of his mind right now, and there we go. He had no idea where he was, and the Saint and Tower gonna take 2 very important kills right there. ZDux and EX7 off the board, but Shinra's gonna go down to Poison. In the meanwhile, more shots are fired as Saint knows that someone's got to be on the cash table. He's taking some downs from there, but Poison's gonna go down below. Unfortunate, but that is Vortex going to town with that G8. That has put Viper and Shrisha up on the chopping block. The final 2, the last line of defense for Team GG. We've got the Zophia's, the Zophia's concussives coming out. Shrisha, oh boy, he's concussed out of his mind, but Viper still has those smoke gas canisters that are also vital. Shots fired, but no, Shrisha wins that gunfight. He wants to peek the breach too, but he's got to be careful there because that can go so wrong so quickly. Viper needs to watch below red stairs as well. Shrisha is actually deciding whether or not he wants to go down there, but he won't, not just yet. Barbed wire, I think he's intentionally, making some noise there to see if somebody's still down below, wanted to peek from the hatch of construction. No one is going to do that just yet. Avidwi's going up garage, and that long pre-fire is going to give away his position. The IQ is with him, of course. And then there's Taha to try and protect the cross angle. But there is the gas canister. Does so much damage, and Avidwi's been down. That's diffuser drop as well. The last two, Taha and Vortex, need to start moving. They need to do something about this. The LMG will need to come in, but Taha's taking so much damage. He's pushing up close, and he will actually find one. Viper off the board. Where is Shrisha? All he has to do is find the planter. He's gonna go for it. He needs to, but yes, he finds him. There we go. Oh boy, that was so close. Oh, Taha nearly brought it back for his team, but unfortunately, High Five way too reserved and playing way too overly cautiously to really give themselves the round again. And Team GG, oh boy. Oh, what a round for them indeed. They managed to just about squeeze that one out. Once again, a 2v4 clutch on CCTV and Cash Room. It happened on round 1, and it just happened again in the previous round. And I know that, we're back with us, me and Baba's faces right now, but we're actually going to go back into the match because we came back to us because of a disconnection. And as it turns out, the disconnection has been, fixed, and the pause has been unpaused, seems like. So we're going to have to go back nice and quickly to the match, folks. There we go. And with that, round 9 is now underway. And before I leave it off,
attackers need to locate
what a clutch. And just so close. Taha, I feel bad for Taha, really. He tried. There were 2 Banshees stopping him from really moving as much as he wanted to. And there was no time to take them out either. And it was like the Valkyrie just squeezed through. Shrisha just about squeezed through and got the planter. That, oh man, that could have really gone the other way around.
I mean, not even mention, Taha almost had his eyes on Shrisha, and he missed it. I wouldn't say it's his fault, it's just that the Banshee there, which was placed in towards Cash Room, and having so little time, poor Avidwi had to go in for the plant, and unfortunately he could not.
Are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Even with that smoke gas canisters, not being able to, push High Five in towards the default plant, they could not because of those 2 smoke gas canisters. And you know why smoke is considered to be the best anchors on defense. 10 seconds on a single gas canisters is a huge time being wasted around for the attackers, and if you don't take care of those one particular player, then we all know what's going to happen next. Although I do have to admit that we haven't seen the attackers on the side of Team High Five go in towards red stairs, but they started to lose bodies time and time again, which, the entire red stairs was uncontested. Only the garage as well as the construction was the only place where Team GG had to worry about, and they did so in a very well fashion. I mean, good job from them. That's twice that they've made a 2v4 clutch, and Poison has to fall back because of the drone, has immediately figured out where exactly his location is. That will be in towards the billiards. He needs to fall back and make sure that he doesn't get caught out in the process. Meanwhile, we see Viper in towards the bedroom side, which exactly where, the site is. And last thing I remember, when Team GG was on attack, High Five, the site being on second floor gym and bedroom, I believe that was on round 3. They went in for a double run out in towards gym and bedroom. Poison, he might be able to find one of the players, and he'll be able to get one. Taha is going to go down into a strip club, in towards the strip club entrance. But unfortunate for him, but he needs to be careful of the player in towards the main stairs, but he's going to lose that. Well, meanwhile, we see Shindra takes out Viper, puts in a 3v4, make that 2v4 as High Five is angry. And And with it, we will see Shrisha in a 1v3 situation. Can he wins this clutch? We've seen Shrisha made countless numbers of clutches. One on Chalet, one on, 2v4 clutches, one on Clubhouse, but unfortunately he won't be able to clutch this time. And we will see High Five win it out. On round 9, second for Gym and Bedroom, 5-4 will be the score line. One more round for Team High Five to equalize it 5-5. And the same thing can be said to Team GG, where they need 2 rounds to get this map on Clubhouse. There is a lot to talk about for Team GG. 2 clutches for the defenders, and High Five, not a single one. And I'm afraid Hussein, who was doing quite a lot of work on Chalet, unfortunately, he won't be able to do much work because he's playing as the Hibana. He's mainly much more worried about open up the hatches. So as a support, it is very difficult to do so. But who knows whether High Five can continue this momentum. Equalizing it 5-5 is the biggest question.
What a round from High Five. They are not taking any of this lying down. Team GG has had a dominating last few rounds, but High Five has a lot to say about it. And oh boy, are they gonna say what they want to say. That's what makes this match so much more exciting. 5-4, folks. Just because Team GG is in the lead doesn't mean that High Five can't still win it out from here. There is a very, very good chance that High Five actually makes it out of this one winning. And that is through either one of two means. They win 3 rounds in a row. And in a match like this, while that may sound impossible, it is not out of the question. And if they're able to win 3 rounds in a row, well, Team GG, that will be the end of their journey. And that will mean that they will have to fight even harder for these next 2 rounds. That's all they need. 2 rounds compared to 3 from High Five. But if neither of them can come to a conclusion before the round 13 is decided upon, or round 12 is decided upon, excuse me, that means, folks, overtime will be in play. And if overtime comes into play, then let me tell you, it will be another humdinger of a map and a humdinger of a match. As we've got the Jackal breaching in towards logistics, Vortex is going to make his way down towards kitchen, find utilities, find operators, take him out as soon as possible. Hussein, oh no! Unaware of the angle that was made just down below. Got shot quite a bit. And he's got to be careful of how he chooses to repel in that position. Valcam has been found, taken care of, but that's just 1 of 3. And Vortex needs to find so many more. But Shinra, here he is, Shrisha, excuse me, to find Vortex. That's one big one down. EX7 peeking through the hatch. He knows he has to be so careful now because the Hibana has a live angle against him. Shrisha, not sure how he got the C4 there, but I assume he did not mean to. EX7's got a C4 as well, waiting to toss that out and find a couple of Vidwi takes a bit of damage in the meanwhile. It is still the 5v4 though, as things are slowly ratcheting up once again.
Things are not going too well in favor of Team High Five with Vortex gone and out. Shrisha, also not to mention, he already did place his pre-place C4s in towards kitchen. Just waiting for that opportunity, and so does Poison, who is at the main stairs. Can he get the shot? No, it does not. It is Hussein to take out Poison in towards logistics. Now they just have to worry about the site, and they only have 1 minute to succeed. Vidwi, the man with a total of 2 exothermic charges, interestingly enough, will throw his smoke gas, not the gas canisters, I do have to apologize, the smoke grenades from the thermite. Doesn't have it, and I believe that he used it to try to take out the ADSs. 1 C4 will be expended, and I believe that is from EX7. Won't get the kill nonetheless. But Shrisha, he has placed his pre-placed C4. Not quite sure exactly where. It should be in towards the kitchen. They have to worry about the main stairs. Pre-pass coming in from Shrisha, but it's too late. They're starting to open up the basement church wall. They've made a decision to go and have that entryway in towards that specific side, but it's just a mere distraction. EX7 comes in to take out a Vidwi. And now Shinra has to do his work. He needs to drop down, but it's too late. EX7 and Viper is here to defend the site. And now Taha is all by himself. He can't do anything. And with it, we will see High Five lose to Basement Church and Arsenal Room, which gives Team GG match point against the opposition. Round 11 will commence. Will we see Team GG win it out, claim the victory on map Clubhouse, put them on Decider Oregon, Or will we see High Five fling black and win it out? We're about to find out in round 11.
Oh boy, map point for Team GG. They are looking to have at least this map be a GH for them, folks, as they will want this side and they will also want to push to Oregon. They want to win. They need to win if they want to have a chance of getting into the semifinals. And High Five, of course, the same stands for them. They are on the cusp of victory in more ways than one, because again, 3 rounds back to back, not unheard of. But right now, they need to win 2 and push for overtime. The issue is they're on attack on Clubhouse, and folks, you know as well as I do that being attacked on Clubhouse is about as disadvantageous as you can get in a situation like this. 6-4, all the pressure is on you and your team, and Team GG can afford to take a little bit of relaxation, but they won't, because the pressure is on them as well to win.
5 seconds to go.
Let us not forget, teams have, not only in just the wider world of Rainbow Six Esports, in our region, in front of myself and Babagusta and Foxy when we used to cast with him, teams have, fumbled from the 6 match point situation. It's happened countless times before, and there is never a chance of it not happening. So, Team GG have a lot of pressure on them to seal this off right now. And some of these players have seen a loss from a match point situation, or at least overtime from a match point situation. They will want to avoid that at all costs going into what is now round 11.
Yep, this is exactly what Team GG needs to worry about. Make sure that High Five wouldn't force themselves on overtime. If they do it, then that means Team GG is giving a fighting chance for Team High Five. They definitely don't want to do that. Talk about Shinra, who is apparently repelling enough, has a good angle in towards the cash room, a good angle which would force the smoke mains out there to forcefully change their positioning, and that would be none other than Viper, who's currently checking out the Valkyrie camps to find good information. Meanwhile, we see Shrisha yet again with the pre-placed C4. Just waiting for the attackers to arrive at the right time. It will be used. Unfortunately, the only thing that it will be doing is just make vertical lines of sight, which will be used for both the attackers as well as the defenders. And Shrisha, the man who is making quite a lot of plays for the team on the side of Team GG, needs to figure out a way to halt the progression of the attackers' push. CCTV walls has been succeeded from the Thermite's exothermic charge, and now they have to worry about pushing in towards the side. You have a lot of resistance being happening in towards construction, and a lot of smoke gas canisters, also smoke grenades from Thermite. Look at that, they have information. Shinra knows that there is one player in towards stock, but the frag is coming in from EXF to take out Hussein. There goes Taha from Poison. 5v3, Team GG looking so strong that they are in it to win it, to push it to Decider. But will it happen? The High Five is still alive. Shinra is still alive. Vortex is still alive, but not for long. EX7 is here to ruin the day. Double kill for him to take out Shinra. Now there's only 2 players left. Make that one player. A Srisha takes out Vortex and a C4 to finish it out to take out a Widwi. And there you have it, folks. We will have Decider. As Team GG will win it out against Team High Five 7-4. And Oregon will be the final map to see who will head off to the semifinals to go up against MRCZ. Will it be Team GG? Will it be Team High Five? We're about to find out in the next map.
Oh boy, that we are. Oregon is happening, folks. Clubhouse has just been decided with a 7-4 for Team GG. This matters a lot. Why? Because, of course, the side of, High Five, they took it 7-5, just about winning, just about avoiding overtime. Team GG, on the other hand, didn't even give them a chance to go 7-5. They shut them down before they could mount a potential comeback, and that is huge for momentum. High Five have lost pretty much all of theirs, while Team GG, they have gained a lot of it. and this match will go on for just a little bit more longer. But before that, we're going to go into the highlights, have a look at some of the plays and really, break them down, as it were, for all of our viewers at home. So highlights going live on your screens right now. And overall, I think in general, a broad way to describe the match today was very, very this match so far, including the first map of Chalet, has just been very good. Fast-paced and slow-paced at the same time. Most rounds have happened quickly. Some rounds, of course, not as quickly as others because of hesitancy, because of apprehension, and all of that stuff. Or maybe things were just being slowed down to try and regain, your hold on a game's particular, on a round's particular, way of being played, or how the map is flowing and all that stuff. So yeah, everything that these two teams have been doing has been done for a reason, and a big reason at that. And High Five started off so strongly, 3-1 going into the fifth round, and then fifth round onwards, they only gained one round. Yeah, they only gained one. That is huge. That is indeed quite huge, folks, as Team GG have been just dominating in as many ways as possible. We said that High Five was probably angry going into, I believe it was round 11, but all of that fury amounted to naught as Team GG simply shut them down on all counts. Man, that was such a good map to see from Team GG's side. Even High Five, man, they tried their hardest, and they still have some more to go, some more to do, and a lot more to achieve if they want to win this game. This game has effectively been reset into a BO1, because now there's only one map and no second chances, folks. If they lose, if High Five loses here, then they lose the whole set. If Team GG loses here, they lose the whole set and a chance at the semifinals. So, oh boy, this match of Oregon is going to be an extremely exciting one. So we hope y'all are ready, because I know we are, but we're going to have to take a short break before we come back with it, to allow all of our viewers to just, get some drinks, get some popcorn, some food, anything, and settle in, because it's going to be a crazy decider map. Until then, we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
The partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem, because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th, when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies. The partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AMD, the Esports Club Challenger Series 1, supported by Ubisoft quarterfinal number 4. Here with the host Blackjack and Baba Gusta, as we are here for Decider map between High Five and Team GG. That is correct. We've had 2 maps so far, both won. The first one 7-5 to High Five, and then a 7-4 to Team GG. Those were Chalet and Clubhouse respectively, and we will now be not wasting any more time and going straight into Oregon for the final map, the Decider map. So let us not take any more of your time. The teams are ready, and let's get right into the final map, the final round of this match. It's 1-1 on the man count. The first ban has been taken care of. High Five versus Team GG is about to hit its grand peak. As in the meanwhile, the bans are being taken care of. High Five have banned Thatcher. No surprises right there. Team GG on the other side have banned Maverick. That is interesting to look at in the context of the map that is Oregon, because of course attic and the main bedroom wall and hatches and so many things can be breached so easily with the help of Maverick that he has been banned, and in return Kaid will be banned as well, just to make sure that okay, we check out the guy who can bypass the electrical interference, but Kaid is going to be much more powerful because of it, so let's get rid of him as well. Valkyrie will be banned by High Five on the other side very quickly, so as Valkyrie, of course, information potential through the roof. And that kind of information, of course, allows for some really good and cheeky kills. And that, of course, will be denied by that ban. And that, of course, means the ban phase has been taken care of. And, of course, the map, the rosters don't need any more introduction. Team GG and High Five are looking mighty strong today between each other. As a couple of 6-picks come in, one from Viper into the Hibana out of Thermite, and one from Vortex out of the Mozzie into the Wamai. As Basement Laundry and Supply Room is going to be the side of choice, and I have kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Thank you for that, Jack. And also here we are, the Decider map for Team GG and High Five. This map will decide whether who will go up against Monkey Hunters in semi-finals. And what's ironic is that last thing I remember on qualifiers 1 day 3, it is the same map where Team GG and High Five went up against. 7-4 on map Oregon, where Team GG were the one who got qualified on the quarterfinals, and High Five
5 seconds to go.
are back on the same map. Will we see history
Attackers
repeat
must
itself,
locate and defuse a
or
bomb.
will we see a change in High Five's playstyle? We're going to find that out in the action phase itself. This is it. What's going to happen next, we'll be able to determine in map Oregon. This action phase will commence and talk about EX7 using the LMG Zofia. Free fires galore in towards first floor kitchen, and Shinra will get detected from the drone. Meanwhile, he will respond back by taking out those 2 attack drones, which would give less information for the attackers and the defenders, aka Vortex. He is still having some issues dealing with. Oh boy, dealing with the magnets. Oh boy. I mean, you even saw Shinra with the shotgun coming in with the help. He was like, "All right, don't worry, I got you. I'm just gonna open up the walls." And then Vortex just said, "You know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna head in towards the freezer and just throw it out instead." But yeah, you know, that was quite funny, to be honest. But yeah, talk about 2 minutes. High Five is making some quick directions. What Vulcan shield in towards freezer. One should be from the blue bunk. I mean, one which was in towards the blue bunker. Now they're just shifting their focus in towards freezer and from the boiler stairs. And there is not much. There's nothing much else that I can say as of now, except Zdux, who I believe just made a line of sight in towards the stairs, and EX7 slowly making his way. If he finds the Goyo, and with that shot taking out that default camps will give away his position. Needs to worry about that confirmation. RC Irriteros coming in to destroy some of the utilities, but still it is silence for both of these teams. Not a single body's been dropped, and the time is ticking for Team GG.
That it is. The clock ticks and time waits for none. And Team GG will be acutely aware of that fact as Taha comes in for a potential peek into freezer. No, not quite. He's got a Vidwi in there to, do that for him. As in the meanwhile, oh dear me, we saw Shinra slowly heading up towards Poison, but unfortunately could not get that kill, which will force Vortex up into 8-point position, facing the main stairs. In the meanwhile, Hussein finds one. That's Shrisha down. Nomad off the board, as it is all up to this 4v4. Nobody pushing bunker. Nobody pushing the tower stairs. It's front stairs and freezer where the main play is happening. Viper's making his way down the main stairs as well. As in, meanwhile, Zdux is on the meeting hatch / tower stairs. They do have this open, but they're not emphasizing on it. They need to soon, and Zdux needs to do something. But there is somebody there, I believe, on the Harry Potter spot, which will make it difficult to push in there actually. And there we go. Zdux has been taken care of. But if it goes down to EX1, and meanwhile the LMG works up, but the LMG also goes down. There goes another one. Vortex is on the board, and Viper's going for the plan to extend the timer, but no, Taha with the double comes in for that beautiful play from the hallway of the site. And man, what a round from both sides. High Five once again playing it patiently, requiring all that round needed from them was to be patient, and oh boy did they play it just about as well as they could have. Round 1 goes to them. Round 2 will now be underway. The site is second floor kids dorms and dorms main hall.
Yep, and with it we will see Shinra bring in the Moze this time. The P10 drone in a 1.5x magnification scope. And I believe he's prepped and ready for that spawn peek towards the armory lockers window. Never mind. He's just gonna 6-bit off from. He's just gonna 6-pick off
Attackers
to the
need to
Goyo.
locate and
It's
defuse
best
as
to
many
have
bombs as they
more
can.
protection rather than aggressive. From more than aggressive plays, I'd like to call it. But bringing that 6-pick, a total of 2 Vulcan shields, which would increase that protection rate up to 3 deployable shields, and also the ADSs. And taking a look at the ban phase, as we saw it, Maverick, Kaid, Thatcher, and Valk are the operators which has been banned, which means the defenders can go in for a double denial ops, such as the Jaeger and the Wumai. But since it's been Since that,
5 seconds left
tactic
before
has been decreased a lot, in which the Jaeger's ADS is no longer, takes
Attackers
two,
are moving out to locate a bomb and
catches two
defuse it.
utilities instantly. It only takes one, but also has a cooldown for a total of 10 seconds. So that has been decreased a lot. And now with the action phase coming into play, we see 3 of the players, or should I say 4 of the players, on the side of Team GG spawned in towards the street. And now they're slowly making their way into getting their access in towards second floor master bedroom. Now they still have to be dealing with Hussein's mute jammers. Not to mention the vertical on the side being placed, and EX7, oh boy, it was too late to head in for that gunfight, and Shendra, as aggressive as he is, will take care of that situation. So does Taha to take out Zedux. 3v5. High Five is definitely angry on that previous round, and they want to make amends on map Oregon. They want to make a statement saying that it is their territory, and Team GG needs to see whether if they can hold on.
Team GG is gonna have to hold on. They're gonna have to survive if they want this round to go their way. Now there is plenty of time, mind you. Minute 55 on the clock. But ooh, okay, I was about to say Poison. If he had gone down there, that would have pretty much sealed the deal. But he finds Hussein, which means one more off the board. Taha will take care of the Gemini replicator in the meanwhile, as it was being affected by all the other things inside his site, just giving away intel as a Gemini replicator does. But there's still more work to be done for Team GG. They may have found Hussein, and that, of course, is going to do a lot of work for them. Hussein is, he's a little bit of a thorn in their side to deal with. Again, what High Five will want is a round win here and now. Oh, dear me. Did that grenade actually end up taking out some of the Skyros pellets of the Hibana? Seems like it. And that will mean that Viper is all out of Skyros pellets, and all he can do is make a line of sight, I think. Not too good. Not too good for the side of Team GG. Flashbangs go out to burn the ADS. There we go. And more flashbangs and more flashbangs. It's all the flashbangs in the world. But that shield is still standing. And a smoke grenade comes out from a Vidvi. Nice and quickly, too. Denying time, denying an area. But wait a minute. Somebody pushed up mighty close to that breach. Actually found Viper. Shisha does come in and take down Vortex in retaliation. But 2v3, Shinra's been down. He's going to be taken care of by Poison. That is one more big kill, one more much needed one, which will make it a 2v2. It's all down to Ta and Vidwi, the last two on the board. 25 seconds on the clock.
And also, I'm not even mentioning about that Vulcan shield, which is proven to be quite efficient for Team High Five. Looks like Shinra's 6-pick off was actually a good idea, but that aggressive push will come in from Shrisha. Will fail nonetheless in the hands of Taha. And another kill will come in to take off Poison, which will make sure that he will put a tab on it. As we will see High Five win round 2. Second floor Kids Doms and Doms main hall, putting them in a very good lead, 0-2. As we proceed to round 3. But in order to do that, we just have to go in for a pause. And I believe that is none other than Hussein, who just got disconnected. So we just have to wait it out for Hussein to come back and hopefully make sure that he would, come back without having any issues. But yeah, these 2 rounds, so very important for Team High Five. And also, it's kind of like the same repeat on what exactly happened on Clubhouse 2 when they were defending on CCTV cache and basement church and arsenal room. The third site, which was on second floor gym and bedroom on map Clubhouse, was the only site where High Five, or should I say Team GG, had a lot of motivation, and they started to win it out most of those sites, which was quite possibly a 2v4 where they won twice for Team GG. So if they make the same repeat again on round 3, then I won't be surprised at this point, because Team GG, they are on point when it comes to clutches like a 2v4. And also, even on that previous round, that almost would have been a clutch, Jack. Poison was there, Poison was there, and I believe the second one was Shrisha. He is always there, and he always tries to figure out a way to win those clutch rounds. And if you do not take out Shrisha in mid or late round, there is high likely a chance where Team GG might put this match back around.
That there is. Team GG, once again, it's all a question of how long can the side of, High Five keep pressuring them and putting them in a corner from where they can't come back. High Five has done this before. They have taken early rounds for all 3 maps so far. And unfortunately, map 1, while it did work, sort of, they still ended up 3-3 on the half. Map 2, they ended up 3-3 on the half and ended up losing after that as well. Now, they are 2-0 up again, and they will want to avoid the mistakes that caused them to go 3-3 on the half. And then, even if they do go 3-3 on the half, they will want to still win from there. Oregon, some would say is slightly more forgiving for attackers than Clubhouse is, but of course, that comes down to personal opinion and all that stuff, so I'm not really going to comment on that too much. But Attack on Oregon, I think everyone can agree, is similar to Clubhouse, wherein the odds are somewhat stacked against you, and you need to do so much work to actually win the round when you're playing on this map on Attack. Hussein takes a ton of damage. I think that was from his own Vulcan shield getting popped out in front of him, and he will still somehow survive everything that's happening. Impacts going out, and that is a very good angle that Shinra has just found for himself. But oh dear, that unfortunately is going to mean that shield is going to go away. But wait a minute, Viper finds Hussein and Taha finds Risha. What just happened right there? Quick couple of kills while the Wama is forced back, allowing for Poison to go in on second floor and take a little bit of much needed control.
Well, information is in for Team GG as they've got the control in towards small tower, and Poison really needs to be careful on shooting those ADSs as he was almost at the line of sight of Viper. We see the Hibana continue to do his work, opening up lines of sight in towards the bathroom side, and Shinra almost missing that opportunity, and also almost missing Iana, who's already in towards the bathroom side. Looks like they have the control in towards Dining. Team High Five, they have to break this curse. If they do not, then we will see Team GG retaliate back, winning the site on first floor, Dining and Kitchen, which in fact is the most difficult site for the defenders to be holding on. But if they succeed, and with Avidvi being the one who still has the control in towards second floor site, Kids Doms, they have the vertical lines of sight. They can be able to defend the base, they can be able to defend the first floor Dining default side, but look at that, Viper is going to go for it anyways, and the defenders have no idea what's going to happen. Post plant is in, Shinra goes aggressive, beautiful shot to take out EX7, but it's too late. But is it though? Double kill for Shinra, makes it a 2v3. He needs to find one more player, and that is Viper. Of Vidvi takes out Sea-Dogs, and it's all gone. Taha comes in to take out Viper, even with the post plant. We will see High Five when round 3, first floor Kitchen and Dining room. Great plays being made from Shinra, an aggressive plays from him, and also Taha finally coming back and also making sure that they would have a tremendous lead. 3-0 will be the scoreline as you proceed to round 4. Team GG not looking too good on a map like Oregon, and they have to figure out a way to come back.
100%, they need to right now. We spoke about how High Five will want to break the the 3-3s that they constantly fall onto. And again, it is still very possible, folks, because they are 3-0 up. While they have made sure that Team GG will not take a lead going into the second half, Team GG can still equalize. And if they do, it's actually going to be more dangerous from here, because they will not only have stopped all of High Five's momentum, but they will have gained a significant chunk of momentum for themselves, effectively converting what was once High Five's half into an equalizer and their half win instead. That, of course, is something that, High Five cannot afford. But for Team GG, that is something they absolutely must do here and now. They need it. They 100% need a swing around like that. And that will require them to play a little bit tighter, a little bit closer knit together, and a little bit more, should I say, consistently with the cards that they have been dealt. Unfortunately, they've been just a smidge inconsistent so far, and I'm not sure if they can simply allow themselves to be so for too much longer going into the rest of this match.
Absolutely, Jack. And talk about Team GG not being able to win a single round in this first half. Pressure is what Team GG has to be careful of. Look at that Shinra. Actually, it wasn't Shinra. It was Hussein who just went very aggressive into his meeting. Poison going in for that wall bang in towards meeting, thinking that Hussein would be in that specific spot, and EX7 needs to hustle up. He needs to go aggressive. He sees one of the players, but he is too late. He'll be able to fall back in towards Freezer, and looks like Shisha will be able to find one of the footprints, indicating that one of the players is nearby. Dronos will give, good information for, on the defensive side. And High Five, talk about the roamers on the side of Team High Five, has made a decision to fall back into the side and make their last resort. And that too, Team GG has 2 minutes, and we see Hussein picking up back his Vulcan shields and placing it in such a way that the attackers have that control. Look at that quick rotate back towards the side. Every single defender is way back, and look at those Vulcan shield being placed, and the first frag coming in from a Widway to take out Zedax. Look at High Five. So many players have been clustered around in towards that particular place. They have to rotate back, in which they will. And now Team GG needs to open up that important hatches. They have to head in towards the site, and look at the amount of time that they've wasted. Around 1 minute and 30 seconds left for Team GG to make their push. And High Five getting this early kill means that they're in it to make sure that Team GG wouldn't have this control on towards the site.
100% right now. Oh boy, that's a double concussion push right there, but will Poison actually find anything off of that? No, not quite. Seems like the one they were hunting, the mute, has fallen back since, and the peaks are only with the SMG-11 from Shinra. He will find the X7, the LMG will fail, as Shrisha is going to take a bit of damage as well. Things are not looking too good, but Shinra does go down. It's a 4v3 now, and a much needed kill onto the mute will allow for a little bit more versatility from the side of Team GG. They can still turn things around. They can still move. And that is what they need to do. They need to move. They need to start schmoving, as they say. But they aren't quite doing that just yet. Wait a minute. Back straight into the Hibana. When did she get in here? Shisha finds one more, but Viper goes down to Vortex in the meanwhile. As oh boy, it's a 2v2 now. Vortex, he knows where one more is. He knows where the Iana is, but Trisha's gonna find Hussein. But can he find the last? No, he cannot. It's all down to Vortex, the Wamai, just by supply room. Tried to go in for a little bit of a bamboozle play by trying to use the sound of the Gemini replicator to make Vortex think that it's a Gemini that's launched into sight. But no, there's no time. The plant has to happen, and it won't. Unfortunate, the Iana simply could not get to a plantable position in time. Poison needed the kill. It's a 1v1 after all. And I have to say, that is so unfortunate for Team GG, because Viper's sneaky little play down the meeting hatch nearly secured them the round. Him and the Jackal pretty much almost turned things on a head, to the point where Team GG might have actually forced a similar situation to Clubhouse that we saw in map 2. But it wasn't to be. High Five played it just about well enough, trading when they needed to and keeping things level, at the very least, making sure that there was no way that Team GG were going to have enough clearance to get the plant off at any point in time. And that is going to put High Five 4-0 up. And that clutch, I can assure you folks, is going to hurt for Team GG. That is going to hurt hard, especially after the fact that Viper's play was pretty much successful. His plan was nearly so successful too, but it just wasn't to be for the side of Team GG.
And I have to admit, for Team High Five, especially when they get their first frag taking out Zedax, the Flores, they've immediately made a decision to fall back towards the side and decided to do a turtle hold. At that time, you saw 3 of the defenders tunneled in towards Freezer, and Team GG had no idea that High Five are making a quick rotate back in towards the side. If we see that huge aggressive plays in towards Freezer, not to even mention if a single grenade would have landed in towards Freezer, that would have been it for High Five. That would have been it. Team GG would have got the entire win on Basement Laundry and Supply Room just because of High Five quick changes of their utility placements, one in towards Freezer and one in towards the site on Supply Room. But man, that was such a close round for Team GG. Good work from Viper, who almost made that clutch happen. Not to even mention Shrisha, who was still alive, but still it wasn't enough. And now they are facing a huge loss when it comes to round wins. 4 back-to-back defending wins on high 5, whereas we hear Flores using the RC terrace to open up lines of sight in towards the armory. He's going to use one more to maybe try to take out the deployable shield in towards the attic. Will he succeed? No, he won't, but he'll be able to find one of the captured drones from Mozzie, and the first frag will come in from Shinra to take out Shrisha. 4v5, and Team GG is again facing deficit.
That they are, and Hussein might have something to say about that. He's going to peek hard onto the Ana and find one more now. Mind you, he has a C4, but it won't matter. Zedex actually does find him just on the blind side of that scope that the Mute was using. Taha finds Poison as well, and Shinra, he was undetected. Comes up bedroom, finds one, and gets taken down. Viper is too quick to the trigger, and he's going to find one more. Wait, what was Avidwi doing right next to the breach? I guess it doesn't matter. Taha comes up the main stairs as well and finds another high 5. What is this domination that they are just doing so, well, nearly effortlessly right now? Team GG, what happened? Going from Clubhouse to Oregon, they have, well, I would have said that they have slowed down had it been like a 4-1 or a 3-2, but this is something else. High 5, 5-0, 1 round away from a series point and match point. And the last round of the half as well. Round 6 is a go.
Oh my goodness. I did not expect to see Team GG to be going down like that in the previous round. It was a total wipeout. Man, this keeps on going, and if High 5 prove themselves to be on match point, winning 6 back-to-back defensive wins, and Team GG needs to do the same thing, winning 6 back-to-back defender wins in the second half. That is definitely not good, especially for on the side of Team GG's hands. And I'm just gonna try to take a look at the TEC qualifiers on see what kind of specific sides that Team GG was so confident. At first, like this was actually the previous match on Oregon, where in the first half we saw Team High 5 win 3 back-to-back defensive rounds on Basement Laundry, Second Floor Kids, First Floor Dining, and then immediately we saw Team GG retaliate back on attack, winning twice on Basement Laundry and Second Floor Kids dorms. Now, talking about this Oregon on the 4th quarterfinals, High 5 absolutely dominates against Team GG. It was more of like they've realized what mistakes they've done. They rechecked the ward and saw what kind of mistakes that High 5 was doing and tried to find out what kind of weaknesses Team GG was doing in the first place, and they decided to patch it up. And they patched it up so well that Team GG has no idea on how to counter this, but who knows, maybe EX7 might be able to find the answers while he picks out a Widwi into a Second Floor Kids main storm. This is actually huge. There goes C4, and also, not to mention Mute, but immediate refrag will come in from Hussein into a small towers. Can he get a second? Yes, Hussein takes out Poison and EX7, both at the same time, and now Team GG is facing yet another problems that they have to face with.
These problems are huge, mind you, because of course EX7 and Poison were playing 2 ops that are crucial to the way Team GG is approaching these rounds, and without them things will be so much more difficult. This is of course the site that is First Floor Kitchen and Dining. You expect to see defenders losing bodies here. That is no surprise, but what surprises me here is the way Team GG have just been once again outplayed in such a way by the attackers. Oh, Hussein, you don't stay next to that line of sight while you're going for a full reload, my guy. Come on. That's a little bit of a misplay. Sorry about that, folks. After all of the excellent siege we've been seeing from High 5, to see that, it's kind of jarring, I will admit. But still, round 6 is now in a 3 versus 3. Vortex, interesting positioning from him. I think he's expecting the attackers to maybe go down the main stairs after they're done with second floor, but that's the issue here. 50 seconds, and they're still not done with second floor. Shots fired, and it's going to be the Jaeger to win that one, leaving Hibana, the last one standing on second floor. Viper is between Taha and Shinra, and it's going to get taken down. It's all up to Shrisha in a 1v3. What happened again and again? Wait a minute. Shrisha's in the site, but not that it matters because, of course, the diffuser is above. It's been dropped as 4 out of the 5, well, 3 out of the 5 attackers have been taken out above. But wait a minute, coming down white stairs was Shinra, and he's been taken care of as well. Shrisha takes that one, and he will, of course, block off the fact that that camera was watching the line of sight that he was coming up through. Does he know where the Jaeger is? No, he doesn't even peek that. Vortex comes in, does get the kill, but there was so much damage done just by Taha peeking and shooting on that kid's dorm's door. And that, of course, unfortunately, is going to mean that high five, folks, are 6-0 up. That is correct. They are now on series point and on match point. They win one more round and they are done here and going straight to the semifinals to face off against Monkey Hunters LFO. That is going to be an interesting match, but mind you, Team GG is now on the defense, so they could yet mount a comeback. You've heard it from me before, 6-0 doesn't necessarily mean it's all done and dusted just yet. You know, just yet.
Yep.
High five in the meanwhile, match point.
Yep. No comebacks do happen on points like 0 to 6. It always reminds me of a match between Vector Sports versus Team Never Diamonds. Man, that was such a long match. Not to mention it was the same map, Oregon, where Vector Sports made that comeback happen. They were almost around 1 to 5, I believe. And I would say that Never Diamonds was on match point. Suddenly, Vector Sports made a huge change, putting this match on overtime and won the entire match. Although I wouldn't say that the same thing can expect from Team GG unless and until if they bring it back up, winning a total of 6 defensive rounds in a row. They need to figure out a way to try to cancel the, cancel High Five's aggressive plays. And talk about Vortex, definitely not wasting any time. And so does a Vidway taking out EX7, who went in for a spawn peek right outside the construction window. It's going to be a huge blow for Team GG. The early kill in favor of Team High Five. EX7 gone. Shinra taking quite a bit of damage, and he is already in towards the white stairs. Definitely not waiting any time. But that's going to cost a lot as Poison is here to take out Shinra. He needs to worry about the Ash, who is slowly making his way in towards the white stairs, and a Widway who is slowly making his way to open up lines of sight in towards the windows of second floor kids. So many tensions, and keep that in mind. Vortex is not using the R4C. He's using the G336 holographic sight. And he needs to find those important kills. Keep that in mind. This, the man count has been equalized. Team GG still has the chance to make this a comeback. But the same thing can be said to Team High Five as Shisha comes in to delete the Vortex. 4 to 3, 4v2 as Poison comes in with a double kill to take out a Vidway. They need to find 2 more players, and that is Taha and Hussein. We've seen Taha make some excellent plays. 11 kills on his hand, only 1 single death. With the pings, he'll be able to detect where exactly Melusi's location is, who is currently in towards the freezer stairs. Hussein knows exactly this. He's going to prep a nade. It's too late. He's already ran back in towards the freezer stairs to make sure that he wouldn't get caught off from the grenades. Now, what is High Five's course? The aggressive peek will not work out as Shrisha will come in to take out Taha. Needs to figure out a way to take out Hussein. Will it happen? No, Hussein misses the shot. And now Melusi still has yet another chance to take a shot from the Yana. It's going to work out. It's not going to work out as well because Hussein, oh boy, he's all by himself. 1v3. He needs to be dealing with 3 angles, not even mention C4s, and he only has 1 minute to succeed. Doesn't have any grenades, doesn't have much HP to begin with, and also the diffuser has been dropped out right from right towards the construction site. And I believe that Team GG wouldn't have any problems winning this defensive round because the Woma is already seeing from that side. And there you go, Poison with the triple kill to make sure that Team GG will come back to win their first defensive site on second floor kids dorms and dorms main hall. There is still a chance for Team GG to win it out. But also the same thing can be said to Team High Five, where they have a spot to get to the chance to go to the semi-finals. What will happen? Will Team GG retaliate or will Team High Five seal the deal? Let's find out in round 8.
Round 8 is now going to be underway. Team GG finally taking a round. Better late than never, I guess, as they do need this desperately because so far, just overall, their performance has looked somewhat lackluster in this matchup. Well, in Oregon, map number 3, that is. Maps 1 and 2, they have been performing exceptionally well, and for them to lose like this after a 7-4 victory on Clubhouse, that would not, reflect too well on the team that is Team GG. They want this win here and now. High5, on the other hand, well, we all know what happened with them in the last round. Got a bit too far ahead of themselves, and while some could say that they were pulling a mercenaries from yesterday where, they were 6-0 up and looking to just completely squash the opposition, knowing High5, there's also a chance that they thought, okay, we can probably, just win regardless. They're not playing all too well right now, and that, of course, is not going to be helping, if you will, for the side of High5. If they keep thinking like that, that is. They need so much more to go their way, however, as right now, Team GG, they are not in a good position at all. And they've got a ton of work to do if they want to try and somehow end up pushing for overtime. And that will entail one of the best comebacks in South Asian Siege history if they are able to pull it off.
Yeah, well, that's the main problem, Jack. We haven't seen a lot of comebacks in this tournament, but if we do see it, that will be none other than Team GG. And talk about Shinra, who's almost about to get picked off on the head of the Rooney Speed and Roni. He will fall back nonetheless. I will be making sure that another peek would not happen, so I'll just throw a flashbang just to make sure that the defenders wouldn't think of going for an aggressive plays. Now Taha, definitely not wasting any time. He'll be into a second floor cage doms, and also their main focus is to get the control on towards the basement side. Basement side is a very difficult side for the attackers to win. Also Team GG, they still have a chance to turn this around. Vulcan shield will be placed. Not much pressure being made from the stairs, and looks like the Aruni will be able to take out Hussein, but it doesn't have that proper information just yet. Meanwhile, we see Shinra getting the confirmation to take out EX7, putting it in a 4v5, and Hussein needs to be picked back up. Beautiful throw from the smoke gas canisters, which would force Shinra to fall back for a total of 10 seconds. A minute and 20 seconds left, and with Hussein being picked up, the only thing that he can do is just try to get information via the Prisma's from the Gemini replicator to get good information. The Jackal still has one more scan to give good information. It looks like Team High5 is losing a lot of time. 1 minute. They have to push. What's going to happen? Will Team GG win it again, or will Team High5 take it out?
All High5 needs to do is get in there and get these defenders out of the sight. Well, obviously by killing them, but that is the point. They need to just get in there and wait a minute. Shinra might actually be able to do this. Grenade goes out, but does he know that somebody's peeking him? No, that's unfortunate. He goes down. Vortex is disconnected. Zedux finds a Vidwi. That is the worst time for a disconnection, as it could have happened at any point in this match, but having happened now, it will, of course, impede set of High5. But, of course, still, things can work out. Viper and Poison are now the only ones left after a quick double kill from both Taha and Hussein. Grenade goes out, but will be caught by the Womai Magnet, forcing Hussein to sit back. And now to try and get past that shield, they can't do much. Where is Taha? He's way too late, and Poison's here for cover. A complete collapse from High5 is going to allow Team GG to take what is now a second round in the board for themselves. What a time indeed. But unfortunately, the disconnection from Vortex, not at a good time, not at all, as High5 in the meanwhile looks to somehow close out this match.
I mean, such a close round, though, for Team High5. It was just that if the Jackal was too far soon enough to head in towards the freezer and take out the smoke, then maybe we would have seen post plant and also give an immediate win for Team High5. But Oregon, man, it is full defender wins First half, it was just high five, winning it out 6 defensive rounds in a row. The same thing can happen to Team GG, where second defensive rounds, we've seen them win on defense. Second floor kids, dorms, basement, laundry, and supply room is still in their hands. But what will be the next round in round 9? First floor kitchen and dining. The site where attackers have a chance, or I would say the higher chance where the attackers could win, if and only if they won't make any mistakes. Speaking of making mistakes, there is highly likely a chance that can happen. All they need is just they have to have control on second floor kids dorm so that they can use that vertical line of sight, or maybe they could go as exactly what Team GG did on round 3 first floor kitchen and dining, to not go in for a default plant, maybe head in towards kitchen and plant from that angle instead. But still, you would still need the protection from second floor kids dorms. You still need cover when the attacker is going in for the plant. So it's not a it's not a good day for the attackers to win, especially on a map like Oregon. But still, amazing performances being displayed from both the teams. High five, especially Taha, who just went 11 kills in the first half. But still, they are facing problems on the defensive side. If this keeps going, if this, if they keep making those mistakes, then I believe that Team GG is slowly making their way into their equalizer, putting it 6-6, and also high likely a chance where we might see overtime. So very excited to see what's going to happen for Team GG, knowing that they made an excellent plays on map Clubhouse. But in Oregon, High Five has the match point in their hands. They just need one more win to secure their deal in the semifinals. But Team GG is not giving up that easily.
That they are not, for sure. Team GG right now are still holding on to hope. They are still holding on to that slim chance of a comeback. High Five, on the other hand, all they need is one round. One round. And the fact that they have not won that round yet is going to put more pressure on them. They need this round now more so than ever. And on the other side, Team GG, oh boy, the stakes are so highly set against them, and yet they are trying to somehow, some way, bring it back for themselves here and now. They need this win, and you can bet that they will try to do whatever they can to get this for themselves. We are just 1 minute away from the match resuming, folks, because, of course, Vortex has found his way back into the lobby, and excuse me right there. Had a bit of a catch in my throat. But yeah, there we go. He's made his way back in the lobby. He needed a minute just to get ready. They are, in fact, ready. So we will be resuming, unpausing the timer, and getting right back into the match in just a quick second. There we go. Timer has been unpaused. So let us head back right in with now round 9, actually, underway.
Meeting hall / kitchen will be the site instead of kitchen and dining. Very interesting for Team GG to picking up a site like meeting and kitchen, which means that the attackers on the side of Team High Five should push in towards the big tower's entrance.
Attackers need to locate
this
and defuse
won't
as
be an
many
easy
bombs as
job
they can.
because they need to have control on attic. Not to even mention, if they even decide to go in for a fully fleshed push in towards meeting, then that means that the defenders shouldn't have to worry about main entrance unless and until High Five decides to create some distractions. So it's a lot to take in, especially it's a lot to take in for Team GG. 2-6. They need 4 more defensive wins. This is a huge, it's a big challenge for Team GG to be winning 4 defensive rounds in a row. But if this happens,
5 seconds left.
then we might see overtime. If does not, then I'd say that Team High Five is slowly on their way to making their spot on their semifinals, and also going up against Monkey Hunters. But who will it be? There is still a chance though for Team GG to make this comeback happen, and Team High Five shouldn't give chances like these. If they keep giving chances for Team GG, then I'd say that Team GG will actually succeed if they're not careful.
That's the thing. Team GG knows exactly what High Five is bringing out, and they will try and deny any advance that they might have. High Five needs to be very careful right now, because if they are not, things will look very poor very quickly for them. And that, of course, will continue to bleed through into farther and farther rounds if and only if they aren't careful with how they execute their round situations here and now. They will need to. They absolutely need to, but Taha taking damage is not going to be too good for the team, as he's just trying to find a way to get some flashbangs into tower, and he has done exactly that. Grenade will go out as well to take care of the mute jammer, and there we go. It should do that. There it has. As more shots are going to be fired in the meanwhile between both sides, and to clear out barricades and utilities and all the like, as Taha gets opens up Attic nice and quickly. Minute 30 on the clock, but oh, that's a bit of a scuffed breach. He's gonna need a few more Excalibur pellets to get that one proper, but it won't work. Poison comes in at just the right time and finds him regardless. Oh dear me, that is probably one of the worst times for Taha to have gone down, but gone down he has. The mid jammer still taken care of though, and that will mean that the thermite breach will go through, but Shinra goes down to EX7 in the meanwhile. Team GG are mounting a huge comeback right now. Avidwi still has something to say about that. He will find Viper as Avidwi takes a bit of damage in return. He needs to get in there. 50 seconds on the clock as Hussein on the other side is looking to find some information, drones, so much required for this attacking team right now to push into sight. And there we go, everybody's gonna find EX7 equalized, 3v3, 35 seconds on the clock. It is now or never for High Five. They need this round done and dusted if this match is to be finished here and now. They cannot afford to let Team GG any chance of a comeback. Hussein so close to getting his head taken care of right there, but of course he is still alive. So is Avidwi. They know where two of them are, a majority of the players, and they have some idea of where the Malusi is, but Zedex finds one, and the down is in on the Nomad. Avidwi's the last one standing. Can he get anyone? It doesn't look like it. He's about to get taken down as well. It is all collapsing. High Five not looking good. They all got bunched up towards the tower side, folks. And unfortunately, they are simply being beaten to the punch. Team GG are still mounting a comeback. 6-3 now. And this round, you could tell High Five was trying not to mess around, but just as pointed out, there's a bit of a comms issue for them as well, unfortunately. So that will require a little bit of admin intervention again. And that comms issue definitely played into them, unfortunately, losing the round. Unfortunately, I think, just as we said, they all got clumped up on that tower side, second floor and first floor of tower. And then, of course, they were unable to go anywhere from there, which really cemented how that match was about to end, how that round, was about to end. And now, they'll probably be going back to second floor dorms and dorms main hall in round 11 now. Round 10. I accidentally skipped a round. But yeah, round 10 will definitely, have quite a lot to show for. High Five on dorms will need to win. If not, we can almost entirely say that Team GG are looking like they might be able to make a full comeback.
I mean, a comeback shall happen, Jack, for Team GG, but for Team High Five, last time I remember when they were attacking on a site like second floor case dorms and dorms main hall, they did get the early kill, taking out EX7, and then they made a quick decision to push in towards White Stairs. Not opening a single wall and not even opening up a single barricade windows into a second floor kids, they decided to go in aggressive, and they failed to do so. Now, the only difference is, since High Five will make sure that they would open up those walls first, which one of which will be on towards attic, the second will be in towards games room, and then they will go in for the push. That's exactly what you'd expect from High Five, knowing that they've lost 3 defensive rounds in a row. If they lose another 3 defensive round, 3 rounds being on second floor kids dorms, basement laundry, and last but not the least, first floor meeting / kitchen, then I'd say that overtime will come in play for Team GG. But for now, High Five is having some issues on Discord, and that's the reason why they had to ask him for a pause. But still, that is quite unexpected from Team GG. And talk about High Five, they were all of them were into his meeting, and they couldn't have the chance to properly open up the attic wall because of the Excaros pellets. You know, the upper part being that it had 6 Excaros pellets, and they decided to put 4 Excaros pellets from below, which made that line happen. Maybe if they try to use both of those Excaros pellets, like a total of 12 Excaros pellets, both at the same time, maybe you wouldn't have been able to see that line, happen in the first place. But mistakes do happen, and the attackers not being able to get the immediate control in towards the attic, they were forced to push in towards meeting room. Quite interesting enough, they didn't make a decision to push in towards main entrance. Maybe they could have use some utilities to destroy the castle's armor panel. Providing a lot of distractions would have forced the defenders to focus on 2 angles instead of one. Maybe EX7 would have just forced himself back in towards the first floor kitchen side, or maybe he could have held an angle in towards the main entrance, where the attackers have much more, freedom to go through towards meeting room and, go fully fledged in towards that post plan situation. But unfortunately, they could not. The time was mainly why High Five didn't get to, decides to go back from the main entrance. So that is a lot to take in for Team High Five. And hopefully, if they do it right in second floor kids dorms, I guess that High Five can do it. But for Team GG, man, this is definitely what Team GG is, capable of. Comebacks 3 times, 2v4 clutches on map Clubhouse, another numerous amount of clutches on map Chalet, 7-5, 7-4, and now we are seeing Team High Five 6-3. 3 more rounds to happen. And with the pause time coming to an end, we are definitely not wasting any time. So we will definitely head back into the match. 3-6. 3 more rounds for Team GG to secure the win, or should I say secure overtime, whereas Team High Five, one final round. And definitely Team GG is not going to give up that easily.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
One final round. That is all it takes, and that is all that Team, High Five needs. That is, of course, something that something that Team GG is acutely aware of right now, and just the fact that High Five have still not managed to win this one round. Oh boy, that is not going to look too good for them if this comeback possibly happens. High Five, you gotta step it up if you want to win this match, man. It's not gonna be too good if Team GG just goes for overtime and then somehow manages to win, especially given the fact that High Five really seem to have been slowing down in the last round. They looked like they were serious. They looked like they were actually giving it a fair shot and still ended up losing the round due to quite a few mistakes that were made by the team. Shinra's going to push up. Is he going to find one? Will he find two? Oh, dear me. Poison. That was a lineup that could have been so bad, but Poison, thankfully, is good with his shots. And that, of course, has equalized the situation nice and quickly. Early round kills for both sides. Shinra off the board, and on the other side, Shrisha off the board, as it is now a 4v4.
Oh boy, that aggressive plays from Shinra almost would have destroyed Team GG's chance of winning this round. But thank goodness, because of Poison, he was almost there to get that immediate refrag. But if that did not happen, I'd say that High Five would have immediately won that round. Shinra, a good attempt from his aggressive plays, but it wasn't enough. And now they are losing a lot of time, and 1 minute and 50 seconds. Shinra being down, 2 frag grenades won't be available. Poison is actually thinking of contesting the angle right towards the Windows side, and I don't think that it is a good idea though. But there is still... It's good to make some huge plays, and talk about Taha, who almost took out Viper with the shotgun, but he will be forced to fall back, knowing that one of the players that would be the Jackal who has the control on first floor kitchen, and High Five is slowly making their way. I believe one of the walls will be opened up thanks to Ace's Summer Breach charges, or do they not? Cook Grenade will come in. Won't work nonetheless because they don't have that perfect information on where exactly one of the players are. Taha will decide to go in for a propellant angle, and looks like Zedax will take one. Abid goes down 4v3. 3 players left on the side of Team High Five, and they're definitely not wasting any time at all. They're trying to use that vertical lines of sight to their good use, but still they cannot find the Jaeger, who is still in the windows. And Hussein is trying to corner the Jaeger. Will it work out? Jaeger's still trying to show up from below. He sees one of the angles, but he doesn't get the shot just yet. A lot of shots being missed from the attackers, and Jaeger is still alive nonetheless. My goodness, he is dodging bullets like the Neo from the Matrix. But in the end, we will see Hussein taking out Zedax, putting it in a 3v3. But look at the time, though. It is just 20 seconds. They have to go in for the push. And not even mention the smoke gas canisters is still alive. And also the Arunis, Surya Gates pushing from the white stairs. It won't work out. It is 2v2. They just have to hold on. Team GG is doing God's work, and there you go. Team GG will win once more on second floor kids dorms. Round 10 goes to them. Overtime is near, and High Five is still struggling on attack. What is going to happen next? We will never know, because Team GG needs 2 more rounds to make this comeback happen. Showstopper from Team GG. They just need to win 2 more.
1 round. That's all they need. 1 round. High Five. What is happening? I understand that winning 1 round is probably, extremely pressurizing. Maybe, teams have, faced various issues when on match point before. But what I fail to understand is, how are their attacking pushes getting progressively worse over the course of this match? Rounds 1 and 2, on the other half, like 7 and 8, basically, they were just having fun. I get that. You've got a 6-0. You can afford to let go of a couple of rounds, right? Round 9 was a completely collapsed push. All of them were boxed in on tower and attic, and they tried to get into meeting. Every single one of them died there.
Attackers must locate.
I can understand that. They did say that, okay, we have Discord issues now, so we might, have an issue with communication there. Okay, fine. How do you explain away what we saw in round 10? Because that was shaky, was extremely, it felt as if High Five were uncomfortable with making that push. After Shinra went down as well. Shinra, on the second half, especially in these last couple of rounds, hasn't necessarily been doing too much, mind you, against Team GG. And that is definitely also showing for High Five. All they need is 1 round. That is simply it. And yet, just that 1 round, what seems to be and should be, in all actuality, the simplest finishers for them right now, is proving to be their biggest bane. And that they cannot afford to have.
I mean, this is... It's the same mistake that they did even on round 7 and round 10. They didn't make a decision to open up the attic. They didn't make a decision to open up second floor kids' dorms. But they did the same thing, pushing towards the white stairs. I don't know what High Five is thinking right now, because they have lost so many rounds. And Team GG is almost really making their way into winning it out. But hopefully on the side basement laundry and supply room, things might be a bit different for High Five. Talk about time though, Jack. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds. They have to go in for the execute. Most of the players are in towards meeting room. You see 3 players on the side of High Five in meeting, holding the same angle. We don't see any players from the stairs. We don't see any player in towards freezer, providing a lot of problems. As we hear one of the Viper, as we see Viper use the smoke gas canisters to make sure that it would restrict the attackers from pushing down in towards the security room. Talking about time yet again, it's 50 seconds. Team GG nor High Five have lost a single player. They're just giving information. And now with the confirmation from High Five saying that there isn't any particular roamers present, every single player are in towards the side, and the execute needs to happen. A lot of pre-fires as EX7 takes quite a lot of damage, but the prone peak is still alive as Zaruni is still alive and kicking, but it's too late. The attackers are already in. It is 3v5. Team GG has started to go down, but it's still alive for Zedex. Zeke takes one, the other comes in with the Hussein, and Shinra comes in with the double kill. This is it. They need to have one more final kill, and
Well then.
There you have it. High Five, amidst losing 4 defensive rounds in a row, they will finally figure out a way to destroy Team GG's defensive moves on basement, laundry, and supply room and call it checkmate, as they will win against High Five 7-4. Actually, win against Team GG 7-4. What a way and what an attempt for Team GG to put that comeback happen on defense. Unfortunately, with that turtle hold, it did not happen for a comeback.
Unfortunate right there for the side of Team GG, but finally it felt like High Five were back to the way they were playing initially when they were on the defense of this map of Oregon. And they played that pretty well, all things considered. Well coordinated, well pushed. It was a little chaotic right at the end, of course, but they still managed to do what they needed to do the most. And the end result is a 7-4 favor win in the favor, excuse me, right there. I was hesitant to use the same word twice, but regardless, good round and good match from both sides. High Five and Team GG has just come to an end, folks. And Team GG will unfortunately lose, as we will see in the highlights going live on your screens right now. High Five are your winners on the maps 2-1 and on the map scores individually. 7-5 on Chalet, 4-7 on Clubhouse, and 7-4 on Oregon. Baba, as the highlights go on, any closing thoughts for this match that we just had?
I mean, I'd say that Team High Five, especially on that second half, were mainly focusing on, finishing things once and for all. And the way how High Five pushed in attack was definitely not impressive on my side. I'm not gonna lie. 2 times we've seen them push in towards White Stairs, and they've made fully fledged decision that they use vertical lines to try to take out the players, but that gave much more freedom for Team GG, saying that the walls aren't open. They're going to push in from the doorways, so just focus on that particular place, and they did exactly that. And finally, I'm just glad that they came back to their senses when they started to defend on Basement Church, because all they had to do was to open up the main important parts, which was the hatches in towards electrical room, and then they slowly made their way and to get their win once and for all. But talking about the first half, look how High Five was very confident on winning 6 defensive rounds in a row, where Team GG couldn't even have the chance to even clutch it out on the first half. And for a moment there, when we thought High Five was going to make it 7-0, we saw Team GG retaliate back. And that retaliation was so good that High Five was very much dazed and confused. They didn't know what to do in the next 3 rounds, knowing that they won all the 3 sites: second floor kids dorms, basement laundry, and first floor meeting and kitchen. They finally had to come back to their senses when they finally win it out on Basement Church. Sorry, not on Basement Church, on Basement Laundry and Supply Room. If that did not happen, if High Five made that same mistake again for the 3rd time ever, we would have seen overtime. But in the end, we saw Team GG, in fact, decided to not, bring in the roamers to try to, waste a lot of time, decided to go in turtle hold. And I believe that's the main reason why Team GG lost on this particular side. They gave way too much time for the attackers, and not to even mention a lot of clearance on the attic side, the meeting side, and also the entire second floor and first floor was in the hands of the attackers. So there weren't any resistance, or should I say fighting, happening between the defensive side, especially the roamer side. They've decided to just full on hold in towards the site on basement, laundry and supply room. And unfortunately, that turtle hole did not happen for them. Unfortunate for Team GG. They might have to say goodbye and make sure that they would try their luck in the next tournament. But congratulations for Team High Five. They will proceed to the semifinals, and they're going to go up against Monkey Hunters. So there you have it. These are your 4 semifinalists: Monkey Hunters, Mercenaries, Kira Esports, and last but not the least, Team High Five, who will be in semifinals. And now they're going to fight themselves off to get the spot in towards the grand finale. Who's going to win it out? Who's going to lose? We're about to find out in the next 2 days of the AMD, the Esports Club Challenger Series for Rainbow Six Siege.
That we are indeed. Once again, big shout outs to these 4 teams and to High Five for finally making it to the semifinals after a tough fight against Team GG. And Team GG, don't lose heart. Challenger Series 2 is still on the horizon. With all that being said, folks, that is going to be it for the quarterfinals of the AMD, the Esports Club Challenger Series 1 with your hosts, Blackjack and Babagusta, here at the Esports Club. And we'll be signing off for tonight and coming back tomorrow with the semifinals. Keep an eye out on our socials for the exact times, and make sure you've got some good food and drink ready, because it is going to be a very long day of fantastic Rainbow Six Siege. Until then, good night.
The partnership with AMD has been great. In Far Cry 6, the team has built the most ambitious open world in franchise history, filled with lush tropical environments and decaying urban landscapes. To push the visual fidelity of our game and immersive gaming experience, we've been collaborating with AMD to implement next-gen rendering techniques like DirectX ray tracing and AMD Fidelity Effects features. When implementing these next-gen features, we were challenged because we want the majority of players to have an enjoyable, smooth experience without having to turn their settings down. Using upscaling technology like AMD Fidelity Effects Super Resolution helps us address this problem, because it means more players can enjoy Far Cry 6 with their graphic settings cranked up and without compromising frame rate. FSR is a cutting-edge spatial upscaling solution. It's easy to integrate into our development pipeline, and it delivers substantial performance boost while retaining excellent image quality on the highest quality setting. Additionally, we believe AMD's GPU Open and the support for open standards and platforms drive innovation forward. We can't wait until October 7th, when players will finally get the chance to see all the hard work we've put into Far Cry 6. It's very exciting that we're getting closer to showcasing to players the game, powered by the latest AMD technologies.
Bye.